The last time on the wilds of Valandiir, having finished securing the Imperial outpost known as the Needle, the Crown Collectors stood victorious, their deeds earning them all to be knighted, as well as a rare and precious favor of the Empire itself. With this newfound leverage, they set their sights upon the Rod of Planar Shift, determined to breach the hellish realm where their comrade Maeven still languished. Yet triumph was shadowed by tragedy upon returning to Stonehelm Keep, as Kravish was reunited with his family, only to learn that Thesia, his once proud floating home, had been struck down by the nameless tentacled horror that had haunted all of their steps. The city plummeting to its doom and seemingly claiming his father and brother among countless others. Carrying grief as heavy as his steel, the party journeyed to Havenscrest, the Imperial capital, to claim their promised boon. And so, upon its bustling streets beneath towering spires, we pick up there, at the capital. So, Crown Collectors, hello, Baranor, is that you?
Yeah, it's me, sorry.
That's okay. Is Steph behind you?
No, apparently not.
Well, I don't know if you heard any of that.
Sorry.
It's that kind of it's like a Monday morning, isn't it?
Yeah, apparently my alarms are useless, so.
Uh-oh. Blame it on the alarms. So...
Oh, okay, well, whatever. Yeah.
You all stand at the Capitol, and I'm going to need everybody to just go ahead and roll a history check for me. Although I only see... Yeah, I don't see anybody else on roll 20. No, you need to hop on there, too.
Yeah, I'm getting there. My computer's being slow.
That'll be a 21 for me, bud.
Okay. All right. 22 from Iona. History. Are you proficient in history, Iona?
Yes. Actually.
Okay. So, I'll just say this, that during your time at your coven in Deadmarsh, you did occasionally read, and you do remember reminiscing about a particularly dry and stuffy passage, but an interesting one about the capital of this empire to the west that has always kind of been imposing in the distance, and you never had to actually worry about, conflict with the empire. They never really came out as far as Deadmarsh. But reading them up was enough to sort of prepare you for what to expect when being in the capital. And as you all stand there, you just stand in awe that the reality of the towers, that the spires that are so high that you can almost not see the top through the clouds, doesn't prepare you for what this really looks and feels like. You're sort of overwhelmed in an instant in the enormity of the city of Havenscrest that who also scored high on its history, just brushes right past you, almost knocks you off your feet a little bit, not on purpose, but it is a busy street and you're taking up a lot of real estate looking at the buildings, and he's going in one direction towards the center of the city. Koza, what did you get? I don't think I got anything from you
I just rolled it now. My computer's being real slow today for some reason.
So Baranor, you and consequently, or incidentally, Reaper as well, are just sort of kind of keeping pace with and also sort of like tapping the shoulder of Iona as she kind of stops to look up. You're sort of averting your eyes, Baranor. Yeah. And you're not really, I don't know, I don't think you're really that interested in big cities.
No.
They don't really seem to hold a lot of wonder for you. So what would you say that Baranor is doing to sort of navigate the streets as you follow who knows exactly where he's going, at least for the interim?
Kind of just making a mental map of things, of like how to get back to where we're going, or back to where we're from going.
Yeah.
To where we started out, also, doing a visual check of any like hidden signs.
Okay.
Any thieves' cant markings around, just to kind of see if there's like any. In a town this big, he's sure there's some kind of criminal element around.
Well, I will definitely need a perception check as you sort of scan unless investigation is better for you, just sort of scanning the area. Yeah, okay. Yeah, very, very, very decent. You want to add to that?
No, 25 is fine.
Okay.
Would 25 be a failure?
No.
Okay.
No. Just depends on what you get.
I know. 25. Well, 25 is fine.
Okay. You're sort of flashing your eyes left to right, scanning the road that you walk on. It's not so crowded here that it's like, you have to shuffle your feet, to get around, and there's packed in there elbow to elbow. It's not like that. You got about 3 or 4 feet around you of sort of scan space, and you do, you catch sight in the kind of the periphery, a brick that you'd step over real fast. And you saw that on that brick, it looked like, just for an instant, and you caught it because it was a simple symbol of like good resource. And you've seen this symbol. It just looks kind of like a fork with like a curly end of it. And you know that as a good place to get quality gear at a decent price, especially if you negotiate using your thieves' cant. Maybe it's a fence that has works something on the side. It's just that symbol, and you turn your head real quick and you see the door of what looks like some kind of recessed shop, and above it it has kind of like a cross sword and a cross shield with sort of a pen quill underneath it, and there's no name attached to the building.
Okay.
And it's just something you clock, and as you guys keep moving. Koza, you are hopelessly being slowed down in your gait, as being so tall and so wide, you can see over pretty much everybody's heads. There's a couple of what looks like maybe a half ogre kind of wading through the crowd about 100 feet away, kind of dealing the same way you are with this crowd. So you're just kind of falling behind. Yeah. And, I'd say Reaper's kind of keeping pace with you. She looks like she's got her head down, and Kravish, who is with her, the two of them just sort of, they kind of catch your gait, and Kravish just kind of has his head. He looks like he's keeping eyes with where is, but he's got his mandolin slung over his shoulder, and he's just kind of got his other hand on Anthem's edge there, and he's just sort of shuffling along. And hello, Steph, are you on finally?
I am.
Yay!
I have arrived. I'm a little bit sluggish. I have a bit of a migraine, but.
Aw. Well, I try not to shout. And as you all just sort of, march down the main thoroughfare here, Kravish just kind of kicks a rock along. It looks like he's real down right now. Obviously with the the recent report of his home city, and yeah, what do we do from here? You know, the direction that you're going to is the palace, only because that's the one thing that you guys have agreed that you need to do while you're here is go to the palace and be received on news of the Needle's reclamation. But now that you're in the middle of the street, you're starting to catch some smells, some familiar. You've been to the Havenscrest a dozen times. You're starting to catch some familiarities of like shops nearby and things like that. You're realizing you're a little peckish. What does Yuno do as you stop for a moment to think about where you're going?
I'm gonna head towards House Cerulean's kind of like, it's not where our main, house is, obviously, but our like in-town residence.
Okay. Let me see here. There's a person that I need to bring up. All right, so you're gonna so that's kind of on the way of where you're already going. You're already going in that direction. Baranor, I'm guessing Luna is with you, yes?
Or
is she in the ring?
If that was an acceptable thing to have her in the city or not.
Well,
we've been here before, but I was not. I don't remember how much of that I played.
Yeah. Well, you would have had to bring her with you through the teleportation thing, or put her in the ring before you got here, and that's maybe where she is now.
Ring too. I don't know.
Yeah. Doesn't matter to me.
I think last time we brought her, I can't remember.
No. Well, there she stands. Poof.
Okay. Well,
she stands with you.
Yeah.
You can see, sort of steering the group. Iona, you get caught and kind of hurried along by, Reaper and Baranor and his wolf. And all of you just kind of hustle along until you get to what looks like a tall, dark stone residence that's kind of along a spiraling street that kind of ascends along the cobblestone. You can see that the walls of this residence are very tall. It looks like it's about 3 stories tall. It has sort of a couple of slit arrow holes on either end of it. And there are windows with kind of blue and gold and black trim and embroidery. And you enter this residence, and it's not long before you kind of show your face to the main guard. Doesn't take much convincing before he lets you all in. And if I'm not mistaken, you've got a butler, and that's the only guy I'm trying to find right now is your butler. But you're kind of all hustled into the greeting chamber of this residence as they sort of retrieve their major domo. You got a couple seconds. Iona, what does Iona think of all this? I feel like I've left you out.
I mean, Iona she had a plan, and that plan was step 1, kill Ara. There wasn't a step 2, and now she's in the aftermath of step 1, which has been successful, but this isn't what she thought success would look like. And she's never been to the capital anymore, so she and Levin on the street were just looking out for absolutely everything because they've never been here, they've only ever read about it. And so they've just been on high alert the entire time. And then, clearly knew where he was going, so they were happy to sort of follow that lead, but also high alert, watching out for everything. And there's actually one specific thing which they might have been looking out for, not necessarily to do anything straight away, but just because they wanted to see if it would exist, which is, so in the Empire they've got this thing about history, right? Do I remember that from when I was first being introduced to it?
A thing about history is in that they're stingy with it.
That they're stingy with it, yeah.
Yeah. Education is not a public freedom in the Empire. They don't educate their children unless you're a member of a noble class or the elite or something like, or an oligarch. Your children are typically meant to know how to survive and maybe raise chickens and some cows, and everything is passed down generationally. There's no slavery, but they are not real big on public education. Information is actually pretty scant and greedily withheld within the confines. So you're not going to find like a library that's open to the public here. You're not going to find, a lot of the temples that exist, aside from the one for the Platinum Dragon, that is the Imperial religion. Everything else, there's not a whole lot of attention to detail with the temples. Like you're not allowed to distribute written stuff like that, unless it's, like I said, unless it's the Platinum Dragon.
Yeah.
So, history goes back on a common knowledge basis, probably 50 years, and then everything before that is sort of folklore.
Yeah, in that case, what they would be looking out for, I think, is they would be looking out for any sign of, like, an underground sharing in history. Is there someone who has been actually, writing down history in a way that, might be shared? Is there signs of a place where people might meet secretly to actually share this history that they're not really meant to have access to? So they'd be looking out for any signs of that, but given that they're new to the capital, it's up in the air whether they can actually see any of it.
Well, give me a perception check at disadvantage. You do not speak Thieves' Cant. But let's see if there are certain things about what people post on telephone poles, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. If you can spot any of that.
No.
Natural 1. So, like I said, there are Blackguard that kind of keep pace with the crowd that look like they're marching about every 35, 40 feet. And they march in twos, always in twos. They got a big burly looking spear, and it looks like they got a shield on their back and a sword on their hip and a dagger on their other side. So they're pretty well armed and they're pretty capable. They're all over 6 feet tall. Not sure if that's the gear they have on or just natural height. They're all almost always either human, elf, or half orc. It looks like there's definitely half elves in there too, but they do cover their head most of the time. It's tough to see their ears and stuff like that. So that they don't put up with riffraff in the capital, and you get the feeling that any poster or secret message that isn't carved into the stone itself, any kind of poster, you get the feeling it's probably going to get ripped down. And that's probably why you're not really seeing anything on the streets. You're also kind of on a main roadway where there's a lot of eyes everywhere, and it looks like it might be tough to sort of nonchalant just nail a sign to the wall of some building. It's tough to get a feeling of the pulse around here as far as underground knowledge, but you're not at really any disadvantage or advantage here, as you don't really have a formal training in history either, but you're very curious about stuff.
Yeah, it's like we read the books we could get our hands on.
Yeah.
And we know that we're interested in it, but it's just whether there's anything to access here, given what the Empire is like, maybe not. So I'll also say, in general, the twins, they are not wearing their symbols of Talona openly, but they're not actually too crazy worried about it, because they sort of the Talantar enclave down in Dead Marsh is, I mean, all Talantar enclaves are fairly insular,
Yeah.
but they have a feeling, you know, it's sort of like rumors, stories that get passed around, and also if you think about it logically, it makes sense. So they're pretty sure that, yeah, this is the capital. This is where all the important people are. Emperor, any royal family, all of, you know, the big movers and shakers. Those movers and shakers probably have poison testers, and if you're paying for the best poison tester that you can get, that person is probably worshipping Talona just because of the sheer advantages it gives in poison detection. So while someone might search her and find, like, her holy symbol, they might not know what it is, but they might know this is, you know, the people who wear these things probably wouldn't be nobility themselves, but tend to be associated with them or employed by them, or, you know.
Okay.
So they're not too worried about getting caught out as Talantar, though they are certainly not going to be searching out any other Talantar in the capital.
Well, I'll tell you this, that a 22 in history, you know that the capital is home to a plethora of religious pantheons that go well beyond the approved list. And by approved list within the empire, it just means these are the only religions that are openly not persecuted by being worshipped from. Like, there are temples to... there's temples to Coralon, there's temples to Bakab, there's temples to the big ones here, and, you know, it's not many, it's only maybe 5 or 6. None of the betraying gods, none of the primordial, you know, unspoken hidden gods, but you know that there are people from a wide range of faiths that come here and do business and live here and you know, spend time in the capital, intermingling, just passing through, living here full time. There's a wide array of faiths and beliefs that are, you know, some are more carefully hidden from open view than others, but you know, hiding your Talantar symbol is really more of a personal choice for you now, and you're kind of it's almost unclear to you whether it's just to keep yourself safe, or if it's also maybe hidden with a little bit of desire not to see it around your neck right now for various reasons. So as you guys kind of travel down, Reaper, you find that Kravish is trailing further and further back, you know, inch or two there. Just, he's not quite keeping pace with the group. Even Koza, in his, you know, low, camel-like trudge through the streets, he's kind of, you know, getting a little further ahead than everybody, or than Kravish, who unfortunately is looking very down right now. So, Reaper, you've got business in the city right now too. What are you doing as you all march down the way?
Just trying to look as inconspicuous as possible, which is kind of difficult with the company that I keep. However, she's trying her best to look as the most average she can.
Yeah, I believe you did change your look before you traveled. I think you just made yourself look like like a brunette human.
Yeah, just a very average,
plain-looking lady. Walking around with some strange folks, but as you kind of keep, you know, you kind of tap Kravish's back of his elbow as you fall behind him, keeping an eye on the group, but also being a little unassuming. Occasionally you're kind of dipping between people on the street to kind of look like maybe you're not traveling with these people at all, you just happen to be going in the same direction, and your hand occasionally drifts down into your pocket, and your fingers occasionally dance across your coin, which at this moment feels very, very hot to the touch. And every now and then you guys are marching down the street, and in the noon daylight you can see your reflection in certain windows of these shop fronts and residences and offices and things of that nature. And every now and then, every third or fourth window, you'll kind of catch the glint of flame behind you. Almost looks like a shadowy image wreathed in a little bit of flowery flame. And just a pair of very quickly flashing red eyes just in the window that you dash across. And it's enough for you to sort of keep your head down, and you occasionally drop the coin in your pocket to the bottom of your pouch. You continue down the alleyway and find yourself sort of snagging on the arm of what kind of feels like a halfling about knee level. And I'm going to need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
It's okay. Saving throw, dexterity.
Yeah.
5.
5, okay. Yeah, so you have, I'm assuming, a little bit of jewelry around your hands, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, Reaper, as you kind of feel yourself getting snagged on maybe a buckle or somebody's book knapsack kind of bracketry, you catch and you feel yourself getting yanked real quick in a direction sort of diagonally downwards. You look and you see the top of a very curly-haired, like red-haired girl, and you feel your wrist jerk a little bit, but then it lets go and it's fine. And you don't even see their face. They kind of dart around the crowd, and just as they disappear behind a rather large ox-led cart, you feel your wrist, and your bangle is gone.
Great. Love that. Gotta hate being in the city.
Yeah. And I'm going to give you advantage on your next perception check as you kind of scan around and hold all your jewelry tight to your chest a little bit. It gives you a little that urban fatigue.
Yeah. Okay. Now she's angry.
Yeah. Baranor, I'm saying that you're clocking this because you got a 25, so you're scanning around too. So you just watched a little girl of some race. Could have been a dwarf, could have been a human, could have been a halfling, could have been a half-elf. Disappear into the crowd around that cart that you just passed. Yeah. And you are now watching Reaper realize she's missing something from her hand. And she's just doing that slow march as she looks around and clasps her wrist, and you can just see steam coming out of her ears.
I'd like to kind of close the distance to Reaper and kind of whisper to her like, "This is the city. Gotta hold on. Can't wear flashy things like that out in the open. They will disappear."
She's gonna look at you with sheer derision, nod, but still very unhappy with your existence at this point.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. Koza. Hey, Koza.
Yes.
You big giant walking carpet.
I am a walking leaf carpet.
You're a walking pain in the ass as you're trudging through this crowd rather slowly, I might add.
Yeah.
And
I got to step his way through this crowd.
Yeah. And you're kind of sort of tiptoeing, but also there's a couple people you just straight up just sort of push out of your way, and yeah. So you're able to sort of make up what three people will, walking distance in a single stride as you're rather large. It's just taking you some time, and you find a flock of a bird that you've never seen. I think you've been to the capital a couple of times, but never with any real business to do here that lasts longer than a few hours. It feels like. And so you've never had a real look around. And as you do, you notice that there is a species of city-dwelling bird that you've never seen before. So as you take a moment, just a quick second, to just sort of take in the city, I'd like you to make a nature check as you kind of think about this bird species you've never seen before.
Okay. Not bad.
Yeah, as for a 16, as you've never seen these guys before, they have what looks like a autumn leaf, orange, yellow, sort of gradient pattern. They start red at the head and shift down to orange and yellow towards the tip of the tail. And there's about 100 of them in this little flock that you see squawking around. They kind of look like a large goldfinch. They've got kind of a triangular, stubby beak, but they all of them trail a very thin line of flame behind each of them as they fly through the air. And there's kind of like a very small, quickly dissipating line of smoke that follows the fire. And these little firefinches just sort of they decorate the sky above you, and there's no trees anywhere, not even decoratively. It's too well developed here, and the only place you've ever heard of, magical birds like this is in Feywild, and you've never seen anything like it. So, Reaper, Baranor. And does Baranor bring the wolf into this manor?
So, it does occur to me that Luna is wearing barding.
She is.
So she doesn't just look like a random, wild wolf or anything like that. So yeah, I would say that she comes with.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an animal handling check.
Or at least Baranor assumes she comes with. Okay. Let's go.
She seems to be following you. All right. 19. You want to add to that?
Does that succeed?
I'm sorry?
Does that succeed?
Yes, it does.
Okay, then no, I can't do anything to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
By the
she
rules,
follows
I can
you
only
in.
add to it if I fail. So,
Right. Well, you can guidance yourself anytime you want, can't you?
Yeah, I guess I'll guidance. Thanks for allowing me to.
Let me let go of your arm.
I know. 21.
21 is better. She follows you in. She's going where you're going. She's kind of taking your lead. She is rather large, but she's not the only beast on the streets. There are you passed what looked like a traveling merchant towing 3 of these rather large black and red striped tiger-like creatures with these long serrated 4 teeth and high pointed ears. You've never seen that before. You've been to the capital, I think, once or twice. It wasn't nothing but a thing for you, but there are elephants. You passed an elephant and quite a few horses intermingled with the walking traffic. So it's not like she's completely, drawing a crowd or cutting a crowd in half with, how weird she looks. Yes, she's also wearing armor, so she looks like she has something of a tactical role or some sort of maybe a beast of burden in some way. So she makes her way into the front gate of this large manor that you all enter, and as you guys kind of squeeze in through the front entrance and sort of shake the outside off your clothes. You are greeted by the house major domo, and his white hair and wrinkled features and sort of shriveled appearance brings back the memories of your childhood as being somewhat raised by by this man, and he kind of greets you and brings what looks like a silver key, and says, "Master, you know how good of it is to see you. I understand that you're here on an official visit."
Yes, we are due to meet with the Emperor as soon as we're able to.
Very good, sir. Would you be requiring the family carriage?
The family what now?
After we rest and eat a little bit, then we can head in that direction. So, yeah, you have time to summon it.
Very good, very good. Will there be anything of specific nature you or your party will require during your stay? You
nothing
see...
that we think of now.
Yeah, you see Kravish just kind of spin around and put his back to the wall. Looks like he's kind of nestling himself next to a large statue of a big, huge white marble lion. He's just kind of like turning around the corner and leaning up against it. And he, your servant friend, who his name escapes me, and I don't want to give him the wrong name. I'm sure you'll see him again. I'll look through my notes and find him. I'm sorry. He kind of turns on his heels after giving a shallow bow, and 3 house servants, all dressed in these long blue and gold robes. They lead you all in generally the same direction, although they point out the guest quarters. That you can all take up residence. There's individual rooms. There's also a place with what looks like 8 bunks on a lower level. Very similar to Stonehelm Keep and how you've got kind of a guest quarters. So, he kind of... they leave you to your own devices here. Is there anything specific that you want to do, in your home?
No, I'm gonna head to my quarters and unpack some of the magical stuff that we've acquired and kind of just take an inventory of where we're at.
All right. Well, let's see here. I can tell you this. There are a few items in your possession that you do not yet know what they do, and you have 3 uses of your identify spell. You've got a black sash of silk, and this is in the magic item chat. You also picked up a number of spell books, and I sent some of those lists to you over our own chat. So I don't know if you want to go through that and see about something to add to your own collection. We can make that happen.
Yeah, I'm going to take some time to kind of review all the stuff we've kind of acquired now that we're in a relatively safe environment where there's nothing to really do. Right.
Okay. Baranor, the common room seems rather open to you. The private rooms, of which it looks like there are 4 of these private rooms. Yuna already dipped into one. You see Kravish toddle his way to the common room and unbuckle all of his stuff. And he kind of grabs his mandolin. He tips his feathered cap down as he kind of like scoots up on his haunches to the back of this bed. And you've guys have like half walls that sort of separate your beds in this room. It's not like it's completely open. And he just kind of posts up and looks like he's plucking a string to his mandolin about every 3 or 4 seconds. Adjusting here, plucking again there.
Okay. I think Baranor's just kind of sitting there, he'll post up on some kind of furniture, just kind of looking a little awkward, out of place. maybe pulling out one of Axton's knives and just kind of fiddling with it.
Yeah. Which one?
Good. Probably Luna's Fang.
Yeah. So, real quick, as you were all walking in here into this building, and you kind of directing Luna, and you two kind of keeping an eye on everything, you spotted something. You saw it so quickly that you didn't want anyone to see you looking at it.
Okay.
And it was on a post across the way, across this whole place is not in the main thoroughfare, but it's in like a side, but still well-traveled roadway, and on a post you saw carved a all-seeing eye. And in Thieves' Cant, you know that as this eye looks upon riches. So it's a honeypot symbol. Right. Posted across the street from House Cerulean's residence. You know what that means?
Yep.
And like I said, your passive stealth is enough to sort of hide that you were even looking at it, but you clocked it, and it makes sense.
Having seen that, Baranor is slightly amused.
Yeah, and it's not without merit as you step into this this foyer, as I'm sure that's called.
Yeah.
And I mean, you spot a priceless painting that almost looks magically imbued with sort of a glittery appearance of a gold and blue-maned lion, as is the symbol of House Cerulean, and it's just 12 feet tall. I mean, it's huge, and you couldn't imagine fencing that. Like what? No, you wouldn't be able to move it. And there are a number of. I mean, it sounds cliche, but there are very shiny candlesticks and little, sort of side table silver cups and pencil holders or whatever else is in the entrance of a giant mansion like this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, your fingers feel a little light, but it's up to you whether you want to commit that sort of guest sin.
I think he's more amused at the fact that the local thieves have pretty much dubbed this one of the like that, and just wonder how many people have stolen from him.
Yeah. I mean, you don't see any evidence in the house of anyone being here. Reaper, I'll say that
we're a family of very prominent and powerful wizards who are more than capable of trapping our stuff.
Yeah. How about make an investigation check just on that painting in the foyer? Yeah, you.
Okay. Sure. Let's see here. Investigation on it. Oh, it should be higher than that. Not much higher. 22.
22? I mean, you're pretty sure that the painting itself is not trapped. It looks like the frame is so substantial and intricate that maybe there's something going on somewhere on the frame. But you definitely feel like that shimmering glitter, which is not it's not distracting from the image as a whole, but it's just there. You get the feeling it's kind of like a laser field. And while you're at it, there's a couple of empty suits of armor within the area. And you're 22, you said?
22.
Just enough to clue you in that there's just this very subtle creak of movement from both of them as you walk by that you don't know. This thing might be something of an animated maybe stimulus activated sentry of some kind, but it kind of subtly moved, and it's not like leaping at you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what's the frame of the portrait look like?
so it's kind of a black wood with inlaid kind of a gold paint that give it a like a very medieval, almost Germanic kind of aesthetic to it, and it races across the whole border of this painting. It's about 5 inches like thick or wide from the edge of the frame to where the glass of the painting is. And I mean, the whole thing looks so big and heavy.
Okay. All right.
That's what you see.
That's what I see, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
And plus, you know, there's guards at every major entrance. This hallway itself is about 20 feet wide, and probably, you know, it goes around a corner in 2 different directions, and there's people
how is
moving
this
around.
Understanding?
At attention, and it has a what looks like a tall pike in its right hand, but you can see straight through its visor to the back of the helmet. Like there's either a very, very short person in there or nobody at all.
What's in the left hand?
It's just at its side in a fist, like it's standing at attention.
I'm gonna go up to it. Any response?
You do trigger a kind of a I see you looking at me response. Like it turns its, as you get within inches of it, it turns its head slowly, staring straight at you, and you see its offhand just kind of like raise its fist a little, like it looks like it's about to maybe shove you away. I mean, how close are you getting to it?
I'd like to get within within its like bubble, about 2 to 3 feet away from it.
Okay, yeah, it looks like it definitely snaps its gaze from a standing position to looking at you. It turns its torso slightly, but you don't hear anything aside from the slight clink and crinkle of its armor.
The urge for mischief is strong, but I'll resist and go back over and fiddle with my knife.
As you back up, it's like its movement goes in reverse. It slowly turns its head away as you get further away from it, resumes its position of attention. Though you could have sworn you heard some ethereal, you know, damn right. That's what I thought.
Gotta be respectful in Yuno's house, so you know.
Yeah. House of the Lion.
Yes.
So
You ain't lying.
I guess for a few hours, the evening is yours. You're obviously free to come and go as you please from this place. The kind of entrance guard knows you now. You don't have to like explain who you are. It's been explained to the housing staff that you're to come and go as you please. So we can start down the chat. If you guys want to do short rest stuff, if you want to do, 2-3 hour personal business in the capital stuff, we'll start with Baranor. What does Baranor wish to do?
Baranor is probably the one who wants to do the least right now. He doesn't really know where, he, as you said before, he doesn't really feel comfortable in the city. He's just kind of there tagging along. I don't know. He'd probably want to tag along with, Kravish probably. Just because, he figures Kravish is much more knowledgeable of a city like this.
Uh-huh. Well, as you kind of think about this, kind of, shaking your cloak loose around your shoulders, and just sort of self-pruning and preening a little bit of self-soothing in this large basement common room that you've posted up in. Kravish is quite silent right now. The hearth lights up. What's that?
He's got a lot going on.
Yeah, he's kind of just sitting on his bed with, one knee up, and he's plucking at his mandolin. It's not making him any more talkative even as you kind of pass by his bed. It doesn't even look like he looks at you. You can tell he knows you're there, but he's kind of just relaxing. Mm-hmm. And he's got his hat low on his brow, and just occasionally plucking his string. Not a lot of rhythm to it, just kind of passing the time. Seems very deep in thought.
Okay.
I will say this.
Verno will do something that he doesn't do very often, and pull out his lute and kind of definitely not as gracefully, but kind of like manhandle the strings to try and keep up. Not doing a great job. Obviously, Kervish is much more skilled, but I mean, Baranor is proficient with the lute, but only in a basic of senses.
You're proficient in a lute. Are you proficient in performance?
No.
No. All right. Then give me a performance roll at disadvantage.
This is why he doesn't do this very often. Performance? Yeah. Yeah, that's terrible.
Wow.
You got a 0.
Like I said, not something he does very often, and not very well.
Poor mandolin, because
oh no,
you sit down next to Krish on a different cot, but on the foot of that bed, so that you can see him. Because, like I said, there's like a half wall that sort of obscures the head of all the beds, so you can have a little privacy. And you sit on the end of the bed next to his, and pull out which I believe it has like a wolf motif on the body of your mandolin. I think you had it made special, or you bought it because it was specially made to look like that.
Yeah.
And he's kind of, you sit there for a couple seconds, and he just sort of gives you a very shallow nod, like, hey, how are you doing? And he continues plucking, and he sees you pull yours out, and he looks at you, just kind of turns his eyes a little, like you got his attention a bit. And so, he watches you place your fingers in the wrong place, striking a chord that doesn't exist. And as you kind of, get your finger in the position, you get all set, and you got your thumb on the top string, and you kind of look over at him, and he kind of gives you a prerequisite ring, and you should do your best to follow it. And earlier you had wound one of the strings too tight, and as you pluck it, it snaps, and boing! And incidentally snapped and broke your D string.
Sheepishly, he'll just I give up and put it away.
And it's that moment that Kravish kind of sits up a little, and he goes, "Not yet. Never give up. Never give up so easily, Baranor." And you hear his nails dance across his string, and he kind of brings his fingers down and covers the top two strings, one of which is the D string, and only plucks the bottom three. Ding, 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 ding. And he has you kind of look at his fingers, and he goes, "Now you." Go ahead. Go on.
Alright, am I doing another roll here?
No. Are you following him?
Trying to?
Alright. Well, what he gives you to do is not hard. You pluck your fingers, and I'd say your passive performance of a -1 is able to at least not get 0 and follow him along. And you find him kind of being like, all right, again, and you do it again, and he has you speed up the tempo a little bit, and you kind of pluck off to the side a little at first, and a little low there, a little high there, but you kind of get into a rhythm, and he uses that twanging, that little ditty you're doing over and over again. He uses that as a little bass, and he just has you roll with that as he plucks a fine-tuned melody out of thin air. It's plucky. It's a little sassy, and as he kind of sits there and uses your constant sound that you're starting to get on a roll with, the two of you just sort of take advantage of the lower three strings as best you can, and kind of play off of each other, and you kind of dip into a melody that he lays out, and he changes his speed, and he kind of grabs a little bit of tapping of his foot, and so you start tapping your feet and making a little percussion with your boots, and just kind of have a little jam sesh.
Sure.
And it brings you both up a little bit, and for the first time all afternoon, as you both kind of strum for an ending, as at the end of your song, he just kind of looks up at you and he's like, "Keep it up, Rook. It wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad at all."
Oh, you're too kind.
Yeah, you're right. It sucked.
There's a reason I'm good with a bowstring and not a guitar string or a lute string.
He kind of leans over and stands to his feet and walks over to your bow, and he kind of puts his nail on the string itself and gives it a little twang twang twang. And he goes, "I don't know, a little practice might get something out of it."
Maybe.
Iona, across the room with your brother, who is at this moment pacing up and down the little lane between the rows of beds. He's kind of got his knapsack. You look like you've peeled yours off, and you're sitting on the side of the bed. You're kind of impressed at the squishiness of the mattress. Something you're finding to be to your liking within the last couple taverns you've been to and such. And your brother is just sort of, it looks like he's holding his pack tighter around his shoulders. And looks like he's almost biting his nails as he kind of paces.
Yeah, I mean, we've had our talk, and I know that he's going to be, leaving soon, which is just weird because we've never been apart by choice before. So it's weird to actually have decided that, I think he's probably gonna, if he can get away with it, want to watch the audience with the Emperor just to see it. So he got to see his sister do that, and then once that happens, he's going to be off, and that is going to be a weird feeling for both of us. But at the same time, it is, it's what we've always done. We've made our plans. We've put them into motion, and this time it's just we're not actually doing that together. And also, it means that he gets to sort of walk all across the continent, because unless he manages to get away with the teleportation circle, which I doubt he would, it means he'll be doing a lot of walking, seeing more of the world, which is nice. However, also, I think as soon as he heard the music thing go wrong, Iona did sort of have to get up and slightly restrain him from making a mean comment about the playing, and just be like, just let them do their thing.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that I need to go out and buy something. Before I go out and buy something, Iona is probably going to, I'm going to say, supervise Levin, not quite interrogate, but just find one of the servants, corner them, and ask them about as much information as he can get about Yuno's family.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's fine. Levin's going to do this, you said?
Yeah, because he's the one who does the talking. Iona's the one that stops him before he says something or goes too far. Or I mean,
Right.
It's never entirely clear if she's stopping him or if they agreed that beforehand that he would go just a little bit further than necessary, and then she'd step in as the voice of reason to garner more
Sure.
sympathy. It's not always clear where the line goes between that, or even if they always know themselves. It's just habit by this stage.
Well, he's going to... So, what is he wearing right now? He did get a chance to bathe at Stonehelm Keep, so it's not like he's got, walking rot filth all over him anymore. He's prettied himself up as much as he would.
Yeah.
So is he wearing his armor? Is he wearing traveler's clothes? Is he wearing robes and Kelowna?
He's wearing whatever clothes we could find at the Needle that were clean and could fit him, and also the armor that we picked up at Stonehelm Keep, and he is radiating an aura of, I could be wearing something better, but I'm choosing to wear this.
Yeah, he's wearing ripped jeans, man.
It's not even that. It's doing like the high elven thing of, I don't even need to dress rich because dressing rich is below me.
Right. So he's got so he's trudging around. He's trudging around in. He's got some shoulder pauldrons snapped tight around what looks like a black leather undercarapace and a pair of black leather leggings. He's got on a pair of nice black leather boots, and he's got this armor that you got, and it's sort of piecemealed around his little leather outfit, and he doesn't look bad. He's got his red hair is pulled behind his ears, and he's kind of just sort of blending in as well as he can. It wasn't brand new clothing, but it was clean and well maintained, and it fit him. Maybe it was a little tight because he kind of looks very lithe right now. But he's sort of pacing around and says, "So what do you think of this place? Pretty out of sorts, isn't it?"
We never thought we'd get to a place like this, so... Well, at least neither of us are planning to stay long. I can't stomach the restrictions on information here any more than you can, so... We help the Crown Collectors. You get to see me go before the Emperor, because apparently that is something that I am going to do now. And then I go my way and you go yours. And that last part still feels very odd.
He kind of has a stone in his hand that you've seen him just sort of roll around his fingers on his right hand. And, when he does, you see his eyes light up briefly. Just the same color green they are, but just flash a little, and you hear him speak to you, and you also hear his voice in like a digital way in your head. It's a very strange stereoscopic effect as he speaks to you, and he says, "Don't worry, sister. I'll check in from time to time." And he kind of spins around and says, "I'm just going to nick to the loo, love. See you later." And he looks like he takes off and moves down the hall. As he does, he comes across a passing house servant, sort of a plump woman in her maybe early 40s. She's got kind of a dark tan skin with slight points to her ears. She's awfully short though, maybe not half human, half elf, maybe half dwarf. And he kind of catches her by the elbow and says, "A question for you. This family that lives here, what can you tell me about them exactly? Their origins, their dreams, their complete family tree, where they're hiding the bodies." And he just kind of, as he says that, she just kind of blushes a little. So I'm going to need you to roll persuasion for Levin.
Yeah, I will also say by this stage, Iona has not bought the whole he's just going to go powder his nose just because they have not. Let's just say they were codependent twins sharing a room well into their 30s. This is...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she is already like, he's gonna like be really uncomfortable with someone. She's not worried about him doing the hitting on someone else's wife thing because he's no longer in full self-destruct mode, but she's coming after him just to watch. And the bury the bodies thing, she just sort of bucking with. He's laughing, he's joking about the last part. The last part, his little joke.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, persuasion. He doesn't have proficiency in that, but he does, unlike Iona, actually have a +1 to charisma. So
wow.
And apparently he's just it's the fucking facial scars. It just puts everyone off. And yes, he's sensitive about that.
Yeah. That's 3 natural ones, I think, from the party. 2 from you, Ellie. Does not bode well. So while inside of Levin's head, he's having this dashing, charismatic exchange with this totally swooned and taken with his grace and his charm house servant. And it snaps to where you look at him and he's shaking and he's like leaning up against the wall real weird, and his hand on his hip is all strange, and he's crossing his legs, but he's leaning towards the wall and doesn't look like it's comfortable at all. And she just kind of like he tries to like stop her to talk to her, and she just kind of like, "Sorry sir, must continue my routine," and she just kind of toddles away from him enough to where he spins and sees you looking at him, and he just like, if he could blush red, he would flush his face, and you see him just kind of stomp down the hall.
Okay, I am going to... I mean, the last time I left him with a member of the Crown Collectors to make sure he didn't just totally mess up, that member of the Crown Collectors went crowd surfing. But there's less alcohol around, so
yeah,
maybe
he didn't die, though. He did not die.
He merely got into a stupid game with a knife, but that's just... Okay. So, I'm going to keep him with me. I think Iona's going to sort of... She's going to say that she's going to go out, do some shopping, and he can come with her. She's not going to try and get anything super fancy, but she's going to get a piece of sunstone, from some kind of magical goods supply.
Okay.
So I think they're worth... I'm not actually how much they're worth. Like, some of the guys say like 10 GP, I don't know.
Are you announcing the plans to go shopping to anyone else, or are you skipping out on your own? Does anybody else want to do any kind of city stuff? Yes. Reaper. Yeah. Are you announcing that your plans? It seems like everyone looks like they're kind of they've taken 10-15 minutes to kind of freshen up and pull on maybe like some real walking around traveling clothes. We don't have to go on a what's everyone wearing montage, but Kurvish is he's gonna regretfully decline a shopping trip. It looks like he's just not in the mood, but the rest of you kind of surround Iona. And I mean, you say you're keeping up with Levin? He's just kind of wandering the halls of the mansion. Are you meaning to go out and leave him behind? Because he's not really following you.
I mean, I don't really want to leave him behind just because this is a place that we're not used to, and also because but Iona trusts her brother, but she trusts her brother that if she were to go out without him, she trusts her brother that there's every chance that he might literally just like follow them at a distance, and in his head this is like he's super looking after his sister. He's looking out for her. Anything happens to her, he's gonna be right there. But also like he doesn't need to like follow them at a distance for no freaking reason. He can literally just come with, and he will just tag along. And yeah, so he's going to be, I think he will probably calm down once they've had the audience with the Emperor, but this is a new situation. And there's still like, they are growing out of their codependency, but it's still sort of there.
Oh, it's been
honest,
a whole day and a half.
Yeah, to be honest, like, they are probably, while people are, because we're not going to instantly be walking out as soon as we've declared a shopping trip, so while we're waiting for other people to, like, get their stuff together to go on a shopping trip, Levin and Iona are just, like, out loud in front of people debating what they want their play to be, because they're saying, well, the usual thing is that we divert all attention onto Levin, so then no one's paying attention to what Iona's doing. But the problem is that Iona's just been knighted, so more attention might be on her, but then Levin's more charismatic, so, it might still be the play to put all attention on him. It's just like, they are 3D chessing basic social interactions which probably don't need it.
Yeah, it seems while you're doing these mental gymnastics in your head, Reaper, you and Baranor, and anybody else that's going, just kind of watch her kind of look around, and you can see her eyes going back and forth where she's like bouncing around between thoughts, and it's everything you can do to just not put a hand on her shoulder and be like, relax, it's a big city, it's fine.
We'll be okay.
All right, Koza, what are you up to? Are you going with, you said?
Yes.
I'm
going to be looking around for shops.
Well, did I hear somebody say they wanted to go to a magic shop? Did I hear that correct?
So Iona just, nothing crazy, but just generic magic supply store. She needs a rock. It's not going to be anything too off the wall.
Right. Well, there is a rather large, well-known, you know about it, but I don't know if you're with these people right now. It's possible you poked your head in to see what the plan was. If you wanted to do something on your own or go with them to the magic shop, it's up to you. But you've definitely would have heard of this establishment. It's something of a legendary magic emporium repository, whatever you want to say it. It's just called Darvango's, and it's kind of a one-stop shop for all of your magical needs. It's very well known throughout the Empire. That's kind of the magic shop that you're told to go to, and your passive perception of interpretation is enough to tell you that means that it's going to be popular, and there's going to probably be people there, and Reaper, this kind of this thought of going to this place that I don't think you would have ever heard of this place. It definitely seems very, very popular, and not sure how Reaper would feel about a large crowd within the same shop, but you do know that there's lots of pockets, lots of wallets in a place like that.
I love how you think that she has all this like stealth and sleight of hand going on. She just doesn't.
That would be me.
She's kind of just along for the ride, but does not really want to be in there.
Yeah. Baranor, you also shudder at the thought of a crowd for, you have sort of a dichotomous reaction to it, that of, ew, people, but,
Yeah.
Lots of people there to spend money.
The thought did occur.
Yeah. So, it's a bit of, not a bit of a walk. It's a walk across town, but you've got a few hours. And I'm going to say that at the last minute, Kervish just kind of taps you all on the shoulder, and he's like, "Weren't thinking of leaving without me, were you? I could use a few fresh and new things, and maybe see if they've got some mandolin oil or new string for your instrument there, Baranor. I mean, what the heck?"
Yes, let's do that.
He just kind of gives you a wink, like, "I won't tell nobody."
Yeah.
And
you definitely need a new wardrobe for the occasion.
yeah, he actually pops out of the common room and joins you on the street wearing a different outfit. He does pack a few.
Yeah.
And I'll let him maybe describe what that is once he's on in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But
is that what you're gonna wear to meet the Emperor?
yeah. But joining you on this trip, you kind of walk the streets and take in the sights. There are airships that look like they're kind of blimping their way through the upper atmosphere of the city. Small ones, a couple of big ones. And, there are flying creatures that looks like perhaps hippogriffs or griffins that all have riders atop them. There's also a couple of large, kind of leathery, bat-like winged birds that are sort of dotting the sky. There's maybe half a dozen of them scattered that look like they're just part of the local flora and not bothering anybody, but just sort of soaring around the skies. So it's a lot of activity all around you. And, as you kind of make your way through the city, I'll say that with your passive wisdom, Baranor, you watch 3 small humanoid creatures, between 3 and 3.5 feet tall. Floppy brown hair on one, dirty brown, maybe was once blonde, floppy hair on another, and a big poof of curly, bright red hair. And they're just kind of whizzing through the crowd, and you kind of spot them about 10 feet away, coming the other direction. And looks like they're going to get real close to you, but it looks like they're kind of looking over you or past your shoulder. Their attention's somewhat divided. And just as they get a little close, maybe 10 feet away, that's when you spot a glint of silver around the little redhead's wrist.
A familiar glint of silver?
Somewhat familiar glint of silver.
Okay. But angle a little bit towards her and do a reverse pickpocket.
All right. Make a sleight of hand check.
Oh, I'm definitely guiding myself on this one.
Cool.
Oh, let me do normal. There we go. Oh, It's gonna be higher than that. It's gonna be a minimum 30.
Wow.
34.
Wow. So, so these three young, smallish people,
Yeah.
they kind of looks like you're going in one direction as if you were going north. They're traveling towards you, but at an angle, almost like they're going like a south-southwest, and you're going to cut across the middle of them. And just as you do, there's a noise of like a horse braying, maybe 30 feet to your 9 o'clock. And it's just enough to turn the head of the redhead to where you very deftly kind of slip your hand up this wide sleeve of theirs and pop that bracelet down their wrist so quick that you slap the sleeve away and just say "street rat" and get them to turn and kind of get spooked and run away. And there you are holding a silver bangle that you have seen Reaper wearing in the past few weeks that you've known her.
I'll kind of walk past Reaper. I'm gonna walk past Reaper and try and put it back on her wrist.
Do you know why this is going to work? Her passive perception is 11.
Oh no. Well, he's attempting. It's not just something you see. He's attempting to interact with your personal space. So I am going to need a definite perception check from you, and I'll just need a wicked sleight of hand from Baranor. I mean, he got a 34. He got a 34 and he rolled a 5. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
6.
All right, you want to do anything to that, Baranor?
I'm gonna tap her on the shoulder and point at some architectural thing and just slip it back onto her wrist.
I want to know with the 6 how long it takes her to realize it's there.
Okay. I'm gonna say 6 minutes. No. Yeah. Baranor just comes up to you, and I mean, Baranor's all right. You don't have any problem with Baranor. He's been perfectly polite and accommodating in welcoming you to the group as long as you're going to be here. But it's not like you guys are buddies. And he just kind of puts his hand on your shoulder and is like, "Well, look over there, the great arch of." And as he's saying that, he just
made up.
Yeah, he just kind of, and he's not even pointing at anything. It's like he's pointing over everyone's head to the end of the street. And as he does that, he kind of trails off. Looks like he forgets what he was going to say. Gets a little awkward and just is like, "All right, see ya." He spins away, and you're just like, "What the hell was that about?" And kind of continue on your way. You don't even notice. You don't even notice it's on your wrist. It's. I mean, we're not even there yet.
She's just like, "What is going on?"
Yeah. Actually, while we walk, I think 11, because he's gonna be leaving Iona soon. He wants to make sure he's leaving Iona in a good enough stead. Is going to walk up next to Reaper, and he's just going to, not too awfully, but still very frankly ask her softly so that we're not overheard. So who do you serve?
Oh.
What are you babbling on about?
You're beholden to something, it's clear. And you are traveling with my sister, and I would like to be set at ease with who you serve.
Oh, there's no
my
ease.
friend.
There's no ease. And I'm getting the distinct impression that we are not friends. No.
Naruman.
It's the first thing that
Good friends can be useful.
Okay. I have no idea what you thought to get from this interaction, but it's not going to go the way you want it to. The answer is, I'm not telling you. And she's just gonna keep walking, paying him no mind.
Best friends. Yeah. It's enough
So
to
then
kind of, yeah, you're following Levin, and you see him kind of, again, try this suave move on somebody to get information out of them. You didn't exactly hear what he said, but he kind of like, it just sort of stops as Reaper continues on, just sort of backhanded by her words. And as you sort of roll up, you can feel this static race across your skin from just this energy that he is radiating of sort of like this cringe and frustration. And, and you can tell he struck out doing something. You don't know what it was. And he just kind of locks eyes with you and then averts his gaze and continues walking with you.
I mean, given enough time, Iona will probably puzzle out exactly what he was asking, because she's been wondering too.
Yeah.
And, maybe not straight out in front of Reaper, but at some point before he leaves, it may be a conversation of, I mean, I get that when you started hanging out with these people, you weren't telling them who you served, but the fact that she's hanging out with you a lot, and she isn't talking about who she serves, is a problem, and it is hypocritical, and he knows it's hypocritical, and he doesn't care, and he doesn't intend to change.
Yeah. It's about this time that that you all hear this whizzing sound, bang, and above your head is this huge explosion of color and light, and this popping whizzing sound, and two more smaller little explosions of fireworks above your head of varying light that shoot these dancing sparks that kind of remind all of you of the prestidigitation that typically did for you on a much grander scale, all framing this large corner storefront with these emblazoned red letters, Darvangos. Inside you can see a glowing, flickering light as candlelight illuminates the entire inside, and rotating slowly, a two-sided floating holographic head of what looks like it's all in sort of like red laser light, but it looks maybe like a half-orc wearing a top hat with sort of goggles, steampunky goggles on top, and big prominent lower teeth. And it's just constantly like laughing in glee and enjoyment. And as it rotates, you notice the back of his head is another face. So it's like a two-sided head as it slowly rotates above your whole group. And you see people coming in and out of this large front door. There's what look like guards. They're not carrying any weapons, but they're wearing these really sleek purple and magenta collared suits, and they're straddling the door. Each of them are just kind of like posted up, but they're also nodding to people who are like walking by, and they're being a little more courteous and inviting than just your typical guard. So, who wants to go first?
Reaper isn't looking for anything, so she's gonna like wander around.
Okay. Oh, hold on. My thing just crashed. There we go. You're not the only one having computer issues today, although I'm not gonna jinx it. All right. You have never been in here before, but you do know, very well, of Professor Leviticus Darvango. He is sort of a legendary character when it comes to the Empire. He is an enchanter, but he's also a great mage that he once served the Emperor's father. and but he has since retired from public service and gone into business for himself. And over the decades, he has amassed a great fortune in his neat little tricks that he used to perform for the army when they served together. And a lot of it looks like, you imagine is mostly parlor tricks. But, you're kind of curious about, what's the old man got behind, the curtain. And, as you kind of sift through and wade through the crowd, you pass racks of robes, and you see rolled up carpets on the wall. It's not a huge space, but it's not a teeny tiny little tent either. And there's shelves with folded clothing of various designs and purpose. You see shelves and shelves of books. You see people pulling them down and reading them momentarily. Racks of glass-covered cases where there are daggers and wands and rings and necklaces, and it's just all manner of trinkets that you would love to have found these at the bottom of some dungeon, so you can put your little name next to it as like donated by House Cerulean or something like that. And behind a large desk at the very back of the shop, you see a figure in a purple and coppery collared suit. He wears a tall top hat upon his head, and he is surrounded by bottles of potions, and he's got a big, huge book in his hand, and is kind of writing in it with this large purple feather quill, and he's laughing, and you all look at the back and you see this guy. Except Reaper.
Oh.
Reaper, you see something different, and I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
Oh.
Fun! I'm so excited.
It's not enough. It's not enough to totally startle you. But you see this guy.
Fabulous. So excited. Okay.
Yep. With your devil sight, you're able to see through whatever this is. But I don't know if any of the clerics have like an inkling to detect good and evil, or if anybody wants to throw up detect magic. That should be fun.
I would imagine that the whole thing would just light up like a Christmas tree. Be like standing in the middle of a Christmas display.
Yes. So you said you wanted to be first. What does
anyone remember?
Do?
Oh, does anyone remember in the Drizzt series when somebody tries to look at Jarlaxle with detect magic and it's just like blinding?
Yeah, kills your whole vision.
That guy just. I think they said explicitly that it's a miracle that he only jangles when he walks, when he chooses to jangle when he walks, based on just everything that he's just draped and.
Yeah. All right, you're first in the door. What would you like to do here?
I'm gonna settle right on up to the shopkeeper, and I'm gonna start by just greeting him. Hello.
Hello! Oh, a noble, I might add. Let me guess. And you see him, he's got this huge emerald ring on his left forefinger, and as he brings it under his chin, you can see his ring glow briefly, and he says, visiting us from the northern quadrant of House Cerulean, if I may guess, sir.
That would be correct.
Well, we are all honored as you grace us with your noble presence. Tell me, what can Professor Leviticus Darvango do for you, Your Excellency?
I'm looking for some new magical items, something that grants me additional protection, either across the board, specific, some spell storage, maybe even just some flashy stuff. I'm a little bit open to, we tend to end up in situations where we have a lot of people coming after us for a lot of different things. So having some different, magical items is always helpful.
Well, you've come to the right place, Mr. Cerulean, and if I may say so, it is wonderful to have someone from your house grace our presence. Jacques, Litimus, have our friend here properly outfitted with some clothing and objects of his station. Now, who's next at Professor Leviticus's Darvango's Emporium of Magical Artifacts and Curiosities? And as you kind of are hustled away from the immediate platform where Professor Darvango is stationed, you notice that there's kind of a wavy flicker about his body, and being someone, you're not an illusionist. You're a what do you call it? An abjurist. And but you know what it looks like when something is cast over your vision. So you get the feeling that there's something more to this guy than we're seeing. And you get brought over by this pig-nosed little dwarven fellow with sort of these long mutton chops. He's wearing kind of tight brown clothing with sort of a deep blue trim and a smart little tie. And he kind of guides you over to kind of the where the good stuff looks like it is. There's dangling robes and mantles strung across mannequins, and he just kind of gets a clipboard and dabs his pen and gets ready to take some notes. He's like, well, what is it exactly you're looking for? We've got items of protection, we have rings, we've got bangles, we've got necklaces and mantles and robes, and we have wands that can imbue someone with protection for a limited time. Is there something particular that you wanted to accentuate your look with?
Definitely more ring, necklace, amulet, maybe robe, some boots, something that's not something that I'm gonna have to worry about making sure I pull out, something that's just kind of there.
Okay. So they do have a robe of protection. It's a +2 to your AC and also +2 to your saving throws. It allows you to also it's called the Robe of Shrouded Protection because it's all black and it gives off this it's almost like you've had a few of these items. They give off kind of a wafting smoke at all times, so you'd have to live with it's not real thick. It's kind of very barely visible. You'd have to be right up on you to see it. But it doesn't have any gloss. It doesn't, except for this little silver pendant at the neck where it cinches. It kind of has like a Dracula collar a little bit. It kind of goes wide behind the shoulders and up the back, extends above the head in kind of this octagonal shape, maybe a few inches above your head. But it does offer kind of a free use of the darkness spell at will. It doesn't consume an action or anything. And that would be around your immediate area, 15 feet. It's not anything you can cast anywhere else. The difference is that you have true sight through that darkness. It just makes it so that the wearer can see everywhere within that zone of darkness. And like I said, +2 to AC. Yeah, that's gonna run you a lot. That's gonna be pretty pricey because it's a very rare magical artifact. So let me see. Hold on. I think I might even have a table on my phone. There's that. While I bring up the price, there's also what looks like a man. 2 or 3 different mantles. One is definitely kind of like a Spider-Man motif, except it's kind of like a deep green and then kind of like a silvery gold on the webbing. It rises off the shoulders and has kind of like a peaked edge that kind of curls upwards slightly. Definitely upgrades your look as far as, grandstanding. It also kind of rides up the back of your neck. It doesn't quite go above the head, but it does kind of have this spine piece of, small like crab legs that kind of in a centipede formation down your spine, kind of clips to the back of your cape. There's another real simple mantle, and it oh my god, this thing will not stop going to commercial. Sorry folks. There's another real plain one. It's kind of like a creamy tan color, very simple shoulder pauldrons that sort of slip off your shoulders to a straight point coming off about maybe 8 inches on either side. And then there's what looks like a really kind of garish, gaudy, bejeweled kind of set of shoulder pauldrons themselves. That's not really a mantle that comes off the shoulder. It sort of hugs the curve of the shoulder. And there's like sapphires and diamonds and rubies and emeralds, and it's real kind of it looks brittle, although it's magic, so it's probably pretty sturdy. You're a little worried about losing gemstones from just living in it. The jewel encrusted one is a +1 to AC and saving throws. And that's it. The Spider-Man looking one is a +2 to AC and also has an added magical effect. The real plain looking mantle, that's also a +2. It also gives you proficiency when conducting diplomatic relations. Looks like it has like a charisma boost to it. And I'll say that as far as the price, the spiderweb one is also pretty rare. The bejeweled one's the most expensive, even though it does, I would say, the quote unquote least. It's going to be 5,500 gold, while the spiderweb is going to be 4,700 gold. The plain one looks like it's going to be 4,100 gold. And like I said, there are some robes too. Yeah, there are some robes of protection. It does require attunement, and it is a
darkness as well.
Okay, so you swing this thing over your shoulders, and you all watch. Now, this is an effect that you can control. I want you to make note of that, and I'll put it in the item card when I create it. This is a feature that you can control. You can't control the smoke. The smoke is always going to be there. It's not stifling. It doesn't fill a room. It's just kind of like an inch away from the surface of the cloak. And it's floor length. It cinches at the neck. It allows free motion of your hands. You cannot wear another robe with it. And it has, like I said, a high kind of hexagonal, webbed almost at the tips, high collar. And as you wear it at will, you can make your face drain of like life and look kind of sallow and kind of gaunt. It's purely cosmetic. It offers no stealth or intimidation benefits, and it's something you can do at will if you wish. You can look kind of scary for whoever's looking right at you. Just became a Dracula vampire. That one is going to be 4,100.
I will take it.
Okay. Alrighty. As you all kind of stand in the midst of this constantly evolving and changing and semi-chaotic store with this immensely, infinitely charismatic central character, we are going to take a short break. Alrighty. So, hopefully by the time we reconvene it's 3:50 now, we'll call it 4:05 Eastern Standard Time. And hopefully by then, Corey will be back online with us. And we'll have him kind of mentally wake up in the middle of this amazing heavenly place for his character to be.
Yeah, right.
Kind of like waking up in the middle of a shopping episode. Ta-da! Welcome back.
Yeah.
So, all right, folks, we'll meet back here in 15 minutes. And hey, there he is.
Hey guys.
Hey, you just arrived for us to go on break.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So, real quick. Well, and like I said, we'll meet back here at 4:05. I'll catch up Corey real quick on what's going on. So we are in the middle of a shopping episode. Lucky you. You were honestly very quiet and reserved up to this point. You and Baranor had a rather touching little, jam sesh at House Cerulean's city residence, which is where you all are.
Embarrassing for Baranor, anyways.
Yeah, well, it was an embarrassing start, which ended up, being pretty cool. And I never want to ruin a moment like that with just pure dice fate. We ended up making it pretty neat. And brought you out of your shell a little bit. Obviously, your mind and heart are very heavy with what's going on with your family and your home and all that.
Sure.
And so you guys kind of posted up home base here at the Capitol at House Cerulean. His family. It's not his home, like his home. But it is his in-city apartment, if you will.
Okay.
And, immediately 3 or 4 members of the party wanted to go shopping, and you've stopped off at Darvango's magic shop, which is kind of this legendary circus ringleader kind of mage who used to work for the Empire and now has gone into business for himself. He's very loud and boisterous and animated, cartoonish, like half-orc, and everybody seemed taken with him except for Reaper. She noticed something about him that she may or may not share with the group.
Okay.
And that's kind of where everyone's at. Just got whisked away and looks like he picked out a very vampiric and Dracula-like cape robe. And we can move right along down the Discord chat and see what everybody else wants to do once we get back. All right?
All right, cool.
All right, so welcome back, and we'll see you in a few.
Okay.
Okay. Are we back?
Oh, I'm back.
Yep.
Yep.
Woohoo! Well, okay. Moving right along, let's go down the list as Kravish just kind of comes to for some strange reason.
Okay.
Baranor, you watch as is being fitted with this rather handsome but mysterious dark black cloak with this high collar. And you see him take off his kind of characteristic blue and black and silver twinned spell robe and slip on this number. What do you do in this magic shop?
Are we like free to like roam around, or is it one where we have to get like directed to like a to where he is, where he's like a fitting thing.
Well, there's attendants walking around. If you need help finding something, they can do it. Or it's a free country, man. You can walk about the place and kind of peruse as you see fit. You see something you like, call somebody over. They can price it and sell it to you.
Okay.
You've just never been in a shop this like busy and well trafficked. Like there's got to be 50, 60 people in this place. It's pretty packed.
Okay.
Maybe even more. Might be even wings that you don't know, you haven't seen yet.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll flag down an attendant and be like, I'm looking for something to. I'm looking for a couple things. Maybe something to improve my dexterity. Maybe something for fire resistance, and maybe on an off chance something to, I don't know, increase my strength a little bit.
Okay, so you pull over this. He's a rather tall, rather lanky, kind of very skinny looking Goliath. He has black sort of stripes tattooed across his eyes from the top of his head all the way down to his chin. And he's wearing a very smart green suit, and he's got these kind of long fingers that he's currently holding what looks like a basket of kind of crumpled handkerchiefs, and he's been folding with one hand and putting on the shelf. And he's like, "Very well, sir. Come with me. I'll take you over to the acrobatic section."
The acrobatics. Okay.
And as he does, you find yourself sort of, it's almost like going to a wing of Dick's Sporting Goods where there's just crap everywhere, but it seems to all be organized into little departments.
Right.
And here you find leathers, studded leathers, many of them folded up on a shelf. Some of them have little colored glittering edges to them, or auras, if you will. Some of them are up on mannequins. There is a handsome set of studded leather armor with sort of these upturned hooked pauldrons. And there's another one that looks, it's very, very shiny steel armor that just has spikes. Very, very imposing. It looks like it would be painful to hug this person. Spikes all over the armor. And you come to a wall of boots, and they're in pretty much any earthly tone. There's also some deep green ones, some cerulean blue, with sort of like ocean motif at the top of the cuff. There are all manner of thieving-looking get-around-a-roof boots. But they all look immaculately clean and brand new. Some of them have sort of a smoky sheen to them. Others have like an iridescent kind of stripe that runs beneath the main cuff of the boot. You got piratey ones, you got tight ones, you've got all different shapes, styles, and a couple of them have like spikes on the toe. And so what is it you're looking for? And I'll roll and see if they have anything close to it. That's kind of how it works in a place this well stocked.
Well, okay. Like sort of metagame that we're talking about. Like,
okay.
Tell you what I'm looking for.
Yeah. You tell me what you want, and I'll roll and see if they got it.
Okay. Just off the top of my head, so I already have a dex of 20. I don't know if there's something that could make that go any higher. That would probably be pretty pricey, though.
Just depends on the rarity.
Yeah. I already have stealthy advantage and stuff like that. I'm pretty happy with my armor.
You have 3 armor items and 3 non-armor items.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, 3 and 2.
Yeah, 3 and 2. Are there any, like, Would a helm or hat count as armor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. If I hit you in the head and you're wearing a helmet, are you armored?
Yeah. Any of those around? Something to help with, like, I don't know, perception, investigation.
Well, he has a pair of glasses, but they're in a different section.
Okay.
This is like if you're looking for somewhere to be slippery or a little better protected through dexterity, that kind of a thing.
You mentioned boots and stuff like that. Are there any that, like you said, creeping around, like, I don't know, rooftop type of style? Are there any winged ones?
Boots of flight. He does have a set of boots of flight.
They're winged boots.
Well, I think it's the same thing. You're talking about like straight up DMG winged boots.
I think so.
Well, let me go look that up because I've got boots of flight in here. I don't know if it's exactly the same thing.
Okay.
No, it's not the same thing. Boots of flight are better.
Okay. What
This is winged boots give you a flying speed equal to your walking speed, and you can use the boots to fly for up to you can use them to fly for 4 hours. I think with flight, I think it's 10 minutes. All at once or in several shorter flights, each one using. So the winged boots, are going to be 600 gold.
Oh, okay.
But the boots of flight, let me just see, that's going to be different. Maybe it isn't better. Fly. Yeah, because that gives you a speed of 60 feet, but you only get it for 10 minutes. But that's a lot of speed during a fight. Not so much on the open road.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna call the boots of flight rare, so they're gonna be 2,200 gold.
Okay, definitely want a pair of the winged boots.
Okay. The winged boots are 600 gold pieces.
Okay.
Don't you have cool? I thought you had cool gloves.
I have cool. Yes, gloves. Yeah.
Okay. I thought I heard you asking about gloves.
No, I was more meaning like, I don't think I mentioned gloves particularly, but something to increase my strength. Are there any belts around?
There are. There's a classic belt of dwarven kind. There is a
beard.
Well, it's not just a beard. You actually you get a boost to your con. You get advantage on charisma checks when you interact with dwarves. You have advantage on saving throws. Yeah.
It's just it Grog when he grew a beard because of the belt of dwarven kind.
Mm-hmm. I don't even think that's. It doesn't look like that's a actual benefit. That's just something really homebrewed. I would do it though.
Yeah.
If I was evil, I'd make you 1 foot shorter.
He's already not a very. He's half elf. He's not very tall as it is.
Yeah, that's why I said if I was evil.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's also got. He has a belt of it's called the Belt of Infinite Pockets, and you're shown that that's just its name. But it is like having a handy haversack around your waist.
Ooh. The dagger possibilities.
Yeah.
How much is that one?
I'm bringing that up as we speak.
Okay.
It's not cheap.
It never
it's
is.
not cheap. Yeah, it's rare.
How much is not cheap?
Not cheap is... It is 6,200 gold.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's 2d10 times 1,000.
Yeah, I got you.
It's quite a bit.
Okay. Starting to think this place is a little too rich for my blood. Do you have a what is it called? A efficient quiver.
I feel like we've talked about this before. So
Well,
he's going to...
We called it. I think we discussed the other one, but then the efficient quiver is like the non-named version.
Yeah, it's also kind of like a handy haversack, isn't it?
Kind of, but for archer.
Yep. You can hold... So it's about holding just specific items.
Yeah, arrows, bolt, similar objects, which is open to your interpretation of what a similar object to an arrow or bolt is.
You can hold 60 arrows, and I would say, okay, I'll assign
16
a price to this. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
And then you can even store a bow in it.
It's uncommon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to say it's 500 gold for it. That seems low for something like that, but sure.
Alright, I will take the quiver and the boots.
Okay.
So that's 1,100 ultimately, I think?
1,100 gold.
Alright, there you go. 1,100 gold.
You broke now?
Not broke, but D&D broke for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. He hands you this quiver, and it's real sleek, and it kind of has. It's mostly black, but it has a kind of like a silvery trim to it. It almost looks like band roadie gear, where it has kind of a blocky. Kind of blocky in its appearance, but as soon as you open it up, you can feel the depth of it, and you kind of just nonchalant drop a pebble that you got in your pocket, and it hits the bottom, and you're like, that sounds like it's 10 feet down there, but it's really not.
Yeah.
And as you're kind of fiddling with your new boots and wondering what to do with your old ones, Kravish comes into play.
Yes.
And first of all, you changed your outfit to do this little excursion. So right off the top of your head, I want you to describe your fabulous going out shopping clothes.
Oh my goodness. Let's say they're probably going to be a nice cream to bone color base white with some purple and gold interlays within the pleats.
Nice. Hat?
Hat, yes.
What kind of hat you got? You sticking with your black with a kind of a fiery orangey red feather?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. A wide-brimmed barge strolling through the streets in your angelic-looking, multicolored, mostly cream arraignments.
Mm-hmm.
Standing in the middle of this place, you are surrounded. It's not like a clothing shop, but they do have many racks of clothing. They have trousers on shelves. They have waist-high racks of shirts that look like they're a wide plethora of functions. It's all kind of everything looks like they have these little micro chains that kind of keep them from being yanked off. You've seen now your friend and your friend Baranor both being helped by an attendant. It seems like if you see something you like, it's agreed upon that you grab somebody and they'll kind of unlock it and show it to you. So, what does Kravish see in this place? Grabs his attention.
I'm going to look through the armor section to see if, I had described earlier the type of armor that I was looking for. I wanted to see if they had any mithril half plate.
Yeah, they do have a couple of sets of mithril. One is a full body, full plate, but very sleek and lithe in its design. It's not blocky in the least. It has an incredible amount of detail and care and intricacy in its design. Now, for half plate, they do have a pair of shoulder pauldrons that look very, very handsome. It looks like they're part of splint mail that has that but you pretty sure you could disconnect the pauldrons and attach them to a cuirass and kind of have something made into a half plate suit. And what's better is the pauldrons and the they do sell a pair. It looks like you might have to, if you want half plate mithril, you're going to have to piecemeal some stuff, which obviously will carry with it a certain price because you're going to have to alter several objects.
Sure. I'm just wondering, is it here or do I need to go to a high-end armorer for this?
Well, he does have armor here. So Professor Leviticus Jarvango he's like I said, he's like a legendary seller of magical items, and this is like the most prestige. You've definitely heard of this place. You may have even kind of poked your head in there, but never had enough gold to even think about buying anything in here. It'd be difficult for you back then to contemplate buying a wristwatch, much less a full set of armor.
Gotcha.
So this place does have really kind of everything magically speaking. It's mostly a trinket shop, but like I said, it's got racks of clothing. It does have mannequins holding armor.
Okay.
So if you wanted to use this, you'd have to get the mantle, you'd have to get the cuirass, and you'd have to buy the bracers. They're all made of mithril. And they are all relatively form-fitting to a larger person. It just so happened to kind of work out that way. It will require tailoring, and
I also have my drawings for the different type of filigreeing that I want.
Right. Okay. Did you put it in a chat with me, or did you post it out for everybody?
It was in the main chats.
Okay.
Time ago. Let me just see if I can pull it up.
Because I know you want like the Platinum Dragon, and you want some musical notes, but it's all very particular. And okay.
Here we go.
Filigree, dragon scales, and musical notes. Knight of the Wild insignia etched on the breastplate. Mark of the Grung on the shoulder pauldron. All right, so half plate.
Oh, there's more.
There's more. There's more. Right. That's right. So you want the notes kind of embossed on the greaves like that. Victory song played out. Do you want those wrapped around the greave, or do you want it to like follow like a squiggly line across the top?
Kind of more of just like a squiggly line across the top rather than just completely encircling it.
All right. One arm honoring Axton, the man out of time. The other arm honoring the Crown Collector's victory over the dragon Shekis, and a beautiful love tune that you once sang for Maeven across the chest, framing. Do you want your little knight's badge off to the side over your heart, or do you want it dead center like a superhero symbol?
No, I want it off to the side, like how you'd wear a medal or something.
Okay. All right. Armor. So as you're kind of hashing this out, go ahead and make a persuasion check. Let's see how well you're able to articulate what you want from this this kind of piecemealing. And they're going to have to enchant it. They're going to have to augment it. They're going to have to get a blacksmith involved who's good at working on magic armor.
25.
25 is good. Let's see here. Okay, so base half plate is 750. This is made of mithril. Mithril triples the price. So we're going to call that 1,500, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're also talking about augmenting. You're going to be purchasing barding, which is what you're using for the greaves. Those are going to be, they're typically, we'll count it as a shield, so it's 10 gold a piece, but they're made of mithril, so it's 30 times 2 is 60. And the cost of, so far we're at 1560.
Mm-hmm.
You have to purchase the Urus. All right. That'll go into the cost of the half plate. We'll just call it even. And then the cost to tailor everything, which it's going to take this guy, he tells you it's going to take them some time to, you're talking about significant augmentation of the metal. Someone's going to have to work that. We're going to have to pay them. So he said, why don't we call it an even $2,000?
$2,000 it is.
That will be ready in 3 days.
Great.
And I mean, this is a very unique set of armor. What would this armor's name be? And we're also talking about the fact that this is. Did you want it enchanted to add protection? I don't even know if we went over that.
Probably a little bit above the monies that I have for added protection. How much would it be to add an additional point?
Well, I'll tell you that right now. It won't be cheap, but
It never is.
yeah. Oops. That's not a plus, that's a equal. Let's see here. Okay, it's considered rare. Even a +1 is considered rare.
Okay.
It would put another 1,000. I rolled low out of oh no, wait, hold on. It's 2d10. Ay. 3,500 gold on top of the price.
Pass.
Yeah.
What about gleaming?
Gleaming. Right. They're going to promise that whatever you enchant will also be imbued before you pick it up. It's common. Good for you. Gleaming armor. Yeah, that's a cheap enchantment. Yeah, it's going to be 60 gold.
All right, we can do that.
60 gold. Yeah, 60 gold. But it always stays clean and beautiful.
Of course.
And it'll only be damaged if it's struck with a magical weapon.
Yep. Let's see. And I'll take the rest on a gift certificate. Like a Wheel of Fortune. Anything to help improve my investigative prowess or possibly make me a little bit hardier?
Well, those are two different things, and
right. We'll just go one at a time.
they're going to direct you over to a section of the shop which is much quieter. You see people reading books. They are It looks like some people are tinkering with little doodads and gadgets on tables, and you see a whole plethora of cases where there are people working behind them, where there are little glass racks with spyglasses and bifocals and magnifying glasses and little jeweler's eye loops, and they're all just sort of arranged in this little cabinet. And he kind of sidles up next to this dwarven gentleman with this kind of long, triangular brown mustache. And he's like, Phineas, can that chap have a look at the inspecto goggles? And he's like, right, of course. And who might this be?
Sir Kravish of the Crown Collectors.
The Crown Collectors? I believe I may have heard the name Crown Collectors once or twice round these parts. Well, it's a pleasure to have you in the shop, sir. So let's take a look at these goggles for you. And he opens up this little glass case, and these kind of gold-rimmed spectacles that have kind of like a baseball cap's bill over the top of each of the spectacles, and it's got kind of a greenish teal lens. And he presents them, and they're quite unassuming. They don't look like they really do much besides they're very clean. They're very pretty. The gold brass has been polished to a mirror's finish. They have a pair of hooked, side legs that kind of you'd have to either augment them in some way to get them around your
Noggin.
I guess what are they called? The gills or whatever that's on the side of your head or something. But you're pretty sure that the power lies in the lenses themselves. And he shows them to you, and they are called the Inspecto goggles. They give you advantage on all investigation and perception checks. They're considered uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
He's got them priced at 400 gold pieces. And you have advantage on any investigation, perception, and any survival checks that have to do with tracking, and keeping any survival, really, any survival checks that are based on looking at something and getting as much natural information. It's not going to you're not going to pass a history check because of this, but it greatly enhances
a medicine check, like to inspect a wound or inspect a body.
It could, yeah. I would say in anything where you're examining using these, I would have to rule on the specific check. I mean, you're not going to suture a wound with them, but
right.
And they also give you 120 feet of dark vision.
Nice. So
they are. Yep, those are 400.
Okay, we will go with those too.
Mm-hmm. And then you mentioned something. What about power or strength? Constitution. Okay, they have it's a large belt. It's called the Steel Stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it is a rather wide. It's about a foot wide. This belt that wraps around you, and it's explained that as soon as you strap this on, you have advantage on Constitution saving throws. It gets you a +2 to your Constitution to a maximum of 20. You have disadvantage against poisoning.
Disadvantage against poison. Okay.
No, you have poisoning you has a disadvantage. So I guess you have advantage against poisoning checks. Like poison if you, yeah.
Okay, advantage against poison saves. Okay.
You have resistance against poison damage. And what's your hit dice?
Well, it depends. If I'm rolling Bard, D8. If it's Paladin, D10.
Okay, it's both D10. It would now be both D10.
Okay. Cool.
All right, +2 to con. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah. It's not cheap, bro. It's gonna be 4,400 gold.
Oh, yeah.
It does a little bit more than the Belt of Mighty Constitution, and that's priced at 4,000.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit much.
Uh-huh.
All right.
They've got one. They've got a real fun one. It's a common item.
And that is?
It's the they have a glass, and they call it the Ever Drink. And with this glass, it's a common item. It's 50 gold.
Uh-huh.
While one drinks out of this glass, it doesn't require attunement. While you are drinking out of this glass, okay, no matter how drunk you get, you will not throw up.
Man, where was this when Cozen needed you?
They have 5 of them, actually. And he said, he said they are not invulnerable, and eventually the effect wears off. It is only 50 gold.
Yeah. So you will get shit-faced, but you're not going to puke.
Right.
That sounds fun enough. We'll do that.
They also have the opposite effect. They have a glass. It's called the Ever Puke.
Yeah, we'll pass on that one.
Really? Okay. That one's a little more expensive too. At 75 gold. However, it induces vomiting after the recipient's 3rd drink.
It'd be fun to plan on somebody. You know, I'm going to take one of each.
Okay. 125 gold.
And that just about exhausts my reward from the needle. And I'm going to turn it over to the next one.
All right.
You're going to make cards for these?
I am. So just everybody who got an item, just for my own sanity, okay, just shoot me a message with the item, and preferably the stats that I gave you, and shoot it in a private message after the game. And
All right.
cards will be incoming for all of these things.
While Karish is in the drink section, is there a bottle of Boundless coffee over there?
A bottle of what?
Bottle of Boundless coffee.
Bottle of Boundless coffee. Why do I feel like that's a real D&D item?
It is a real D&D item.
Yes. I had no idea Baranor was such a coffee aficionado. Hell yeah, he's got one of these. He's got 3 of them.
Baranor will take one.
All right, let me see. It's common. It is going to be pretty cheap. Yeah, it's 20 gold.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead with the next person. I just wanted to.
No, that's fine. Ellie,
One of the more
Iona,
hilarious items in that.
just put it upright over someone's sleeping mouth. Ellie, Iona is currently wandering through the magic shop with Levin following behind. Both of you are in sensory overload. Is there anything that you're looking for in this place as Professor Darvango narrates a battle of the ages as floating suits of armor above his head clash with shield against sword, and he kind of gives this rendition of some faraway battle in a faraway land that you're pretty sure he's probably making up on the spot. And, you know, there are lasses and lads looking up at him with glee as he showers them with conjured candy treats. you look around. I don't know if you've ever been in a magic shop quite like this before, but it's very overwhelming. And like I said, sensory overload. You hear smells and see sounds, and everything is sort of whirling around you to the point where you're kind of being turned around. There's people trying to get your attention to try on a new enchanted gown while someone else is waving a wand that's turning someone's skin deep blue. What do you do in this cacophony of noise and aroma and magic?
Okay, well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the section that has got spell components, and I am going to acquire a sunstone.
All right. There is a rather large, kind of a head shop section. It's in sort of behind a beaded curtain, and it smells like patchouli and sandalwood, and there's, kind of a hippie-looking gnome behind a desk who's currently, looks like she's grinding some pestle and mortar with some aromatic herb into a powder. There are a number of cauldrons on the side of the bench. One of them is lit from underneath and self-stirring with a little spoon. There's all manner of people in there. There's people reading books off of a shelf in the corner. There's a couple of tables where it looks like someone's having tea and perusing a book. Somebody looks like they're trying to mix some components and make a potion on a table. It kind of puffs in their face unexpectedly. And there are tables and cabinets and cases of trinkets and pouches of spices and spell components and ingredients. There's chicken feet and monkey feet and people feet hanging from the ceiling along a rack of what looks like kind of general spell making supplies. There's rolled up burlap. There's some rawhide. And with a sunstone, which is actually a pretty neat little object. It is this from Forgotten Realms?
I mean, yeah, but also I think they are. Yeah, it is literally just like a rock. It works as a component, but I don't know if the lore is that it is itself magical in Forgotten Realms world, but it is a rock.
Forgotten Realms has one. They've got one for 10 gold.
Yeah.
It looks like it's kind of a clear crystal with sort of flecks of orange and red running throughout it. It's you can get one that's faceted or smooth. It's your choice. They're both going to be the same price.
I mean, I'm not sure how picky Iona is about it, but I think she'll probably get a faceted one just because it's less likely to roll away if she has to put it down somewhere, but she'll be keeping it pretty close to her person anyway.
Okay.
So, yeah, that'll be 10 gold for that one. I'm not going to need it yet, but when I level up, I will need it for spell components, so I'm planning ahead. Then, aside from that, I think I'm going to be picking up some components for potion making.
Okay.
And I think that is going to be... So I think I've got about 5 vials of torpor poison, so that's alright. I might go for maybe sort of... I have plenty of gold, to be honest, so I'm going to be getting, say, 4 more of the beetle extract, 3 of the ashvine berries, 3 of the bloodroot, and 1 of the nightshade.
Mm-hmm.
This is for poison components.
Well, they have ingredients to make some pretty brutal poisons here, okay?
Okay. So if they've got fancier stuff, then by all means let me know the fancier stuff.
They have components to make a number of these. They also have freshly, like already made poisons. And I'm going to say they have enough to make everything except... So if you want to go... I'll post this in the chat. This is where I'm getting this from. And I'm going to... Because you want to make it, the components are going to be less than this price. Because you have to make it yourself. But then again... it's cheaper if you have to make it. That's how it works. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, and I
You can go there.
in the habit of making it.
Right, exactly. So there's a few here that you don't have access to. You don't have, they don't have the ingredients to make midnight tears. They don't have the ingredients to make purple worm poison. Purple worm poison, by the way, is heavily outlawed. And midnight tears is also a heavily outlawed substance. So anything that you see on this list that you want, I'm going to charge you a half price for their ingredients. And that's per dose. It's not cheap here in the capital, but you can get a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to look through this list after the game. We can negotiate, and have you. We'll say that you withdrew that gold retroactively, and have that. At least have the components on hand to make them whenever you wish.
Yeah, sure. I will look at that another time, and I'll tell you what I'm getting, and we'll figure out price.
Okay.
Aside from that, I mean, I am 5 for 5 on attunement slots, and I have approximately just over 2,000 gold. So I'm not going to be out for buying much in the way of like magical armor or magical items, but I might be looking into this if there's any enhancement that can be done to what I've already got.
Well, not every magical item requires attunement. Anything that I've given you. Yeah, anything that you've got that I've given you, it will say whether it requires attunement. And if it doesn't require attunement, you can have as many as you want. I mean, I would say you have a limit of 10 rings only because you only have 10 fingers, but I don't know, you can wear them on your toes too.
Yeah. So most rings in Forgotten Realms do require attunement. So
yeah,
I'd say I am already maxed out on 20 for wisdom. So, there are things which can increase your wisdom above that, but those, I think there's like a tome or something which will do it, but those are going to be super expensive, and I doubt I have the gold for that.
Right.
So aside from that, anything that could be used to enhance my armor or my shield, or anything that could be used as an enhancement as a service, or any magical item which doesn't require attunement, which would have some kind of benefit within the way of, dex or con.
I can promise you that any item that affects an attribute, ability, or skill is going to require attunement.
Yeah, is what I thought you were going to say, but I thought I'd say it anyway.
Good try. Most of the time the items that I homebrew or the ones that I homebrew, their rules that don't require attunement are usually small effect enchanted items, things that do neat little things. I think even the Speak with Dead Dagger, I think that even that requires attunement. That's a pretty powerful spell. There's tons of neat trinkets in here, gadgets, gizmos. There's little bombs you can throw to create an area of grease on the floor, or some kind of prestidigitation effect. So this is not the only time you'll be in the capital. You're going to be here probably at least a day or two. Who knows what trouble you guys get into, what gold you may earn. So just if you've got any of those items, maybe you want to swap something out for something cooler. There's nothing wrong with de-attuning and selling. Does anybody have any? Think about what's in your inventory too. If you guys want to offload some stuff, we can increase how much gold you have that way.
Yeah, similarly, if there's like, I have a ring of protection, which is pretty useful, but if there's anything that offers more protection than that isn't going to be, too big, I may consider swapping that out.
Well, you have a ring of protection +1, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it does do, it's the one that does the +1 to saving throws, armor class.
So like I said to, I think it was, there are several objects in the store that will increase your AC by a factor of 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 5. However, they jump up in rarity as you go up, and it starts off with being uncommon with a +1. The +1 is rare, and it goes up in price as you go up in protection. For instance, just to kind of blow your mind, a +5 vestige of protection, and this is kind of like a large cuirass that sort of wraps around the body with these very intricate kind of body-hugging lines of interwoven, almost like sheet metal, and that gives a +5 to your AC, and it doesn't count as heavy armor, it counts as light armor. That's 75,000 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Whereas,
okay. Out of interest, how much is like a +2 ring of protection if they do something like that?
A +2 ring of protection is going to be 6,200 gold.
Yeah, I thought that anything that good would be crazy, but like I said before, you can always ask. So you know what? Actually, I'm going to ask if. So right now I have my glamour studded leather armor, which I'm not going to get rid of because I like that. Even though if I were to switch out, I know there's other armor that a cleric can have that's better, but it's too expensive. So what I'm going to ask is if they can somehow get my mantle of spell resistant. Is there a way for them to do like an enchantment on the mantle so that it will sort of imitate what the glamour studded armor is doing, or is that going to be crazy expensive too?
So once an item is enchanted, you can only put multiple enchantments on a base item. You can't augment something that's been enchanted without destroying the base enchantment.
Okay, so we're just saying that it is what it is. In that case, I may just have to conclude that Iona has more money right now than she's ever had before in her life.
Boo, boo. Pickpockets beware.
Like...
Baranor's ears.
Oh, no, she's not worried about
no reason.
It's not even that having Levin standing by her shoulder gives her scary dog privilege. It's more like you've got an intimidating dog, and then next to it is like a carbon copy of the intimidating dog, except this one's covered in scars. Also, so she's not worried about pickpockets. No, I don't think she's actually going to be shelling out for any magic items in that case. So we'll be getting more poison, depending on what I look at later.
Okay.
But in the meantime, she's got a sunstone. Her and Levin are going to settle into a corner of the shop where they can see everything, even though it's still sensory overload. They're going to have a quick talk in Undercommon about Levin's conversation with Reaper. And then just to soothe themselves, they're going to have a nice, relaxing conversation of, so if someone was going to try to, kill us right now, how do you think they'd go about it? And then once they've exhausted all those options, they're going to go into, okay, so if someone's going to kill us right now, how would you want to be killed?
Yeah, weird kid stuff.
Yeah, Iona, she sort of hesitates because she kind of would prefer to be stabbed in the heart, but she's not going to say that to Levin. So instead she goes with being shot with an arrow. Levin keeps insisting on drowning, and they're just debating which would be a more pleasant way to die. Levin's really committed to drowning being the best way to go.
And as you kind of entertain each other with this macabre sort of back and forth, and trying to kind of out emo each other with your responses, Koza, you find yourself kind of wandering in between and ducking your head under curtains of spell components and doing your best to kind of stay out of the way. You feel like you could be like a bull in a china shop, even though you're gentle as a lamb. And you're in the midst of this place. You feel, your pockets are heavy with your own gold. Is there anything that you were looking into kind of picking up or looking at while you're here? Everything looks very pretty and very clean.
I was thinking about getting some new boots.
Some new boots? Well, they do not sell regular boots. This is not a leathersmith. This is a enchanted magic shop. So they have boots of speed. They have boots of haste, which are a little more powerful. They have two now of 3 pairs of winged boots, one of which were just purchased by Baranor. They have boots of protection. They have boots of the Firewalker, which give you resistance to, just as it says, walking over fire. But that works over lava as well. Lava can be very treacherous.
Especially in the 9 hells.
Yeah.
They have a pair of blink boots, which if you click your heels, you can activate the blink spell. Pretty self-explanatory there. They have dissonant boots, which while wearing these enchanted boots that are made of a black leather wreathed in silver gossamer, while concealed by shadow or darkness, you may speak into a willing or unwilling person's creature's head, as long as they can understand any spoken language. The recipient must make a wisdom saving throw, or else, if they pass, they can ignore whatever it is you're saying. And it's against your spell save DC. If you're interested in that, I can make a card for that. They've got a pair of flippers. You're not sure if they're magic, but they definitely look like they would aid you in swimming. They have boots of vitality.
What do those boots of haste do?
They initiate once a day. You click your heels, and they initiate the haste spell, or the haste. Yeah, the haste spell, which doubles your speed, I think. Allows you to do a extra action or attack action, +2 to your AC. It's pretty powerful. Advantage on dex saving throws. Yeah, it gains an additional action on each of your turn. That only lasts a minute. But boots of haste are pretty dope. They're also pretty expensive.
Yeah, what about those boots of speed?
Boots of speed, they just double your speed at all times. Your speed is permanently doubled. Yeah.
Would that carry over to if I wild shape?
I wouldn't carry over if you were flying.
Okay. But if I turn into
I'll give it to you on
creature?
land. I'll give it to you on land.
Okay. Well, how much are they?
The boots of speed are 2d10.
I just imagine a big black bear going 80 feet per turn.
Those are going to be 3,300 gold.
Ooh, I don't think I have that.
The boots of haste.
That's expensive.
Yeah, the boots of haste are even more. They're 7,500 gold.
Okay, well, let's see if we can't find like a necklace or something.
Okay. Was there an effect you were looking for? We have we have necklaces of various resistances. We have, one's got poison resistance. One has, it looks like it's made of bone, and it's a protection against undeath. So you have advantage on saving throws against Constitution buff or debuffs from like undead things, like Mummy's bite or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's necklace of protection +1 to your AC, and the like. There's let's see here. There's a necklace of spellbinding, which gives anyone who wields this necklace can affect the outcome of a fellow spellcaster, which basically means if you activate this feature. For 2 turns, any spell cast against you has advantage on ranged attacks or touch. Likewise, any saving throw you make against a spell for 2 turns until the end of your second turn is at advantage.
How long does that last? 2 turns?
That's 2 turns, yeah.
We'll come back to it.
There's a... we just lost Steph. I think she has to go. Which sucks because you were next. Reaper wants to help Koza negotiate price using her knowledge of the owner of the shop. She doesn't want to buy anything. She just wants to go to a bathhouse, have a bath, have them clean her clothes and armor. Got it. Okay. So she is going to use her charismatic wills to help you get a better price on your shit. So, there is a necklace of understanding, and this gives you advantage on any skill checks used in deciphering languages. It also gives you proficiency in history when it comes to speaking languages. So it basically it's kind of like a Babelfish from Hitchhiker's Guide. It helps you understand languages, but only you don't understand anything outright. It gives you advantage on checks against them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how much is that?
That one does not require attunement, and it is 800 gold pieces.
Well, you said what about those boots of speed again? You said they were 3,300.
Yep.
Let's see if we can't talk that down.
Okay. Well, she's gonna give. Why don't you give me a persuasion check? You can do it at advantage. Reaper is batting her pretty angelic eyes at the shopkeep who's talking to you. He's kind of an unassuming but well-dressed, middle-aged. Looks like a human or a half-elf, covered by balding brown hair.
You said persuasion?
Yeah.
Point. Oh, come on. 13.
Oh. It didn't help.
It didn't help.
Oh, well. Reaper tried. But, 33 is, that's kind of out the door price. He offers to dye them any color you want.
Well, when you put it like that...
Free of charge.
I don't want to spend all of my platinum.
Yeah. They also have, like I said, it's a pretty well-stocked magic shop. They've got disposable weapons, like they've got bottled lightning, which is just it's kind of a glass potion bottle, but inside is a continuously undulating bolt of little energy that as soon as you can either throw it, or you can throw it and it explodes in a ball of lightning with associated damage, or you can open it towards someone and a bolt of lightning comes out of it. They have that kind of stuff. They have Ring of Fire Slinging, which gives you the Firebolt spell. That one does not require attunement. They have various scrolls you can purchase, which are basically one-use spells that anybody can use. They have rods, they have scepters, they have staffs, they have wands, they have magic crossbows, they have magic swords and suits of armor. It's really anybody's guess what they don't have. I guess if it sounded exotic, I roll to see if they had it. If it was pretty common, I would bet they did.
Well, I liked that necklace of language interpretation, or whatever it was called. They said that was what, 800?
That was 800.
But I convinced him. But I convinced him to charge me 6.
Oh man. Well, I'd say Reaper's first attempt at help didn't really help much, but she can definitely kind of lean over the counter and see kind of where the good stuff is, which causes the guy behind the counter to sort of keep an eye on her. And as you kind of ask him that question, he kind of seems a little quick to answer, so maybe he's going to give something away. So go ahead and roll persuasion at advantage one more time. Let's see if she does her best to give you a hand.
Come on, man. I gotta cleanse these dice.
You do. That's your second 13 in a row. So yeah, he's keeping an eye on her, and he's kind of waving you away, like, no, 800 is a fair price. And then he kind of moves away, and he goes, listen, if you don't want to invest this much into a permanent item, he goes, may I offer you these? And you see him take a piece of parchment out from a drawer, and he takes a wand that he dips into this greenish fluid, and he kind of taps a piece of parchment, and he says, he goes, let me ask you, do you speak Dwarvish?
I do not.
You don't. Perfect. And he pulls what looks like a great book off of a shelf behind his head and slams it down on the counter. Blang! As he opens it up, he gives you a quill. He goes, all right, take this quill, and I want you to copy this paragraph exactly as you see it.
Okay, I do that.
Okay, you do that. And as you start to copy it, and the pen marks move away from what you've written, they magically change into common.
Ooh.
And you get about a full sentence of, and it's talking about some dwarven king having some land dispute with a former cousin's mine, and as you're copying it, you're realizing how bored you are at the content, but the effect is rather interesting. And then he takes the parchment, he waves his wand over it, and the script disappears, and he rolls it back up. He says, there are 150 apiece. He goes, but once you've written the message, what's written on the page is permanent. And he said, this little trick is just for me, as he kind of made it disappear with his wand.
It's tempting, but I'd have to get someone else to write the same thing.
Well, it allows you to copy information quickly that you can understand.
That's true. Does this work with just Dwarvish?
Nope, it works with any language.
I'll take
all you do is copy what you see, and if it fits onto the paper, which is usually more than a few paragraphs of script, It'll translate it for you, and then it's permanent. And once the paper dries, you cannot change it.
I'll take one. So 150 piece.
150
seems
gold.
pretty useful.
Okay. You have a scroll of true scribing.
Yeah, I think Coase is satisfied with what he's found.
All right. Any other last-minute business as we move along the day? As I answer Steph's question. Okay. Well, Professor Leviticus Darvango bids you all honorable thanks for visiting his shop. He leaves you all with a first-time customer goodie bag, which involves it's a little paper pouch, and you get 3 little acorns, a small roll of parchment, a small quill, and what looks like kind of a proto business card in there for Professor Darvango and his Emporium of Magical Curiosities. And it gives a little address from the capital. And you'll have to see what the little thingies do.
Well, there's no explanation or anything with them. It's just a couple of dots.
They're 3 little. Well, they're kind of like almost like they're made of like a burnished brass. These little tiny nuts, these little acorns, and then there's a small scroll of parchment, which seems unassuming, and a small black feather quill, and it all smells of perfume.
Okay, thanks.
You make your way out the door and towards the palace. The capital of Havenscrest at this midday hour is awash with activity. As the closer you get to the palace itself, the louder the raucous crowd becomes. Several large beasts, a golden rhino clad in platinum armor, carries a litter or a carriage atop its back with some dignitary that stomps in front of you and makes its way into the palace front gate. You explain yourself to the front guard. You present your gold seal and are granted instant access through a side door, immediate audience with the sovereign. You're told to wait in a rather dark side chamber, lined with guards, a couple of attendants that kind of place you at a table to wait until the sovereign is ready to receive you. You are all given strict instructions of your behavior in sort of a vetting and prepping process. You know, you're well versed in this. You understand what is expected of you, and you know that this is not Dane. This is not Brackenshire, where mouthing off to the authority of this chamber gets anything more than a slap on the wrist or a short prison sentence. People have been skewered by the incredibly talented and powerful inner guard of the throne room. Any sign of disrespect or trying to make a joke at the Emperor's expense is never, ever met well. While you all know yourselves to be quite powerful, indeed, in your own right, the idea of insulting the Emperor to make a point or a joke is probably not a great idea, other than it would cause you a great amount of inconvenience, to say the least. You're told that those not of the Empire are not required to bow. However, those that have pledged allegiance to serve, which includes those who have accepted the rank of knight, are required to drop to at least one knee, bend your neck in reverence, and stay there until signaled, which is usually by someone tapping a spear on a floor or telling you to rise or something of that nature. There's an air of decorum that's expected out of each of you.
I would imagine that Sir Thorsten would have told us about all of this.
Yeah, very generally speaking, but he's the kind of guy that assumes you all are perfect angels because he just loves you guys so much. Figured he probably didn't have to go into.
I did before, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't feel like he had to threaten you with what would happen if you were, assholes to the Emperor.
Yeah.
He felt you guys were probably smarter than that, but this guy doesn't know you.
Okay. Well, maybe with his royal upbringing, would know to tell us, like, hey, give us a little bit of a.
I'm actually glad we got this guy here telling us about, strict protocol. I want somebody that's actually like a courtier or somebody in there to give us the lowdown on court protocol. Even if like you're yawning and making jerking off motions.
If everyone is in agreement of the procedure and this attendant, this staffer, is satisfied that you understand what's expected and your behavior.
So we are all considered Knights of the Wilds. So that would be the same as any other knighthood. We're expected to follow the same behavior as far as taking a knee.
Yes, anyone who's accepted the rank of knight is a servant of the Empire, and therefore required to observe the same decorum as anybody else that has sworn allegiance. You've effectively sworn allegiance to the Empire to accept the role and the title of knight. You can obviously always renounce your knighthood. You've never heard of that happening. It's just kind of a weird thought that popped in your head. You can't imagine that would end well. But, supplicating before the sovereign is a small price to pay to what you would imagine enjoy certain benefits. Like,
understood.
So, yeah, he feels satisfied you guys get it, and you're all sort of led out of this chamber. Let's see here. There we go.
5.
Was that you, Steph?
No.
I thought I heard somebody speak. Oh,
also one other question. If we are to speak to him, if we are allowed to speak to him, how should he be addressed?
The first time you address him as his royal sovereign.
Okay.
And afterwards, it may be sire. It also may be my lord. And you may also say my emperor.
Okay, thanks.
Never sir, never buddy, never dude.
So
he's not a fan of that. Yeah. No innocent pet names. No sweet cheeks.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so you're sort of led through this chamber down a hallway, and you hear a bit of commotion up ahead as a group of people, and you find that you're being moved towards the main entrance hall of the throne room. This is it. And don't know why my music stopped. Oh well. Anyway, there's a rather large commotion up ahead as the main hall is filled with, what are they called? Not phenotypes, but sycophants and noblemen and supplicants themselves. The entire hall is vaulted and huge. There are immense stained glass windows that line both walls, depicting scenes of conquest and battle. You also see this main hall lined with statues. and right now there are what look like 12. And there's an empty stand at the end on the right. Currently, as you are brought into this room deeper, you can see that they are former emperors. From the first emperor of the Zephan Empire all the way up to Emperor Thandel Erik Valzef VI, the current sovereign. And that's when you hear a shrilly, sing-song female voice from the crowd. You know! And the crowd parts, and instantly diving into Yuno's arms is a young woman in a huge, flowy, kind of peachy white dress with a high crown and a high collar. Yuno, you've come face to face with your childhood friend, Princess Cynthia. She is third in line for the crown, behind her older brother Victor, and his older brother, the Crown Prince Hector. She spins around on her heels to show off her dress and says, I heard you were in town. How in God's name are you, Yuno?
Oh, we're doing well. We're here for a royal audience, but seeing you is definitely an additional privilege, even greater than seeing your father.
Oh, well, you flatter me. Father is father. But it is so good to see you. You must come for dinner tonight. We're having roast beast on a stick. It's positively roughing it. Well, it'd be wonderful to see you, and I'm so glad I was told that you and your party were arriving. Tell me, who are these glorious and brave friends of yours to be knighted in the wilds such as you were?
We are the crown collectors.
Of course, this must be... Yep.
Oh, I was gonna, kind of point to Kravish and let him kind of, do his shtick.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. How do you refer to a princess? Is it Your Highness?
I feel like you're saying this out loud.
No, myself. No, I will give a polite bow, and I'll go, Your Royal Princess, a privilege to meet you.
She kind of giggles at your awkwardness.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pleasure to meet with you. And tell me, who are these other fine fighters that march at your side through the wilds as they do?
Well, I will then proceed to give introductions, just brief introductions to each individual person.
Well, Princess Cynthia shakes everyone's hand. Those of you who decide to kiss her hand, it is received with tense permission from her guards. Behind her stand two extraordinarily tall silver dragonborn that flank her in equally luminous silver full plate mail. They tower even over you, Kravish, and you're pretty sure that these dragonborn descend from people from your town. Mm-hmm. They don't look familiar, although most of their face is covered with form-fitting helmetry. Mm-hmm. But their gait and their luster of their scales definitely has like a blue sheen against your kind of brighter, duller scales. But you know that these guys you're probably related by some distant grand uncle somewhere. Mm-hmm. And those two are also followed by a set of 6 black guard. And these 8 soldiers act as her personal bodyguard as she moves innocently, flitting between each of you. Now a small crowd gathering around you. And after making your acquaintance, Princess Cynthia approaches Yuno once more. Well, Father told me that someone in the east had retaken the needle. It was a band of adventurers. While Father doesn't always look so passionately on those of the private security sector, I knew it had to be the Crown Collectors. I knew it had to be, you know. And she just kind of looks in your eyes and puts a hand on your cheek. Please, say you'll come to dinner.
How could we refuse such a generous invitation?
Wonderful, splendid. Did you hear that? And she's got a couple of her girlfriends kind of all around her, and you know, she's just elated that, you know, you've shown up and that you're agreeing to see her later. And she goes, I've got to go. I've got a dress fitting. You know how that goes. Always busy. Well, good luck seeing Father. I hope that you're rewarded wholeheartedly for your duties to the Empire and the realm itself. It was wonderful to see you. Goodbye, darling. And she gives you a quick little peck on the cheek, and her hand just sort of rests on your shoulder for just a quarter of a second longer than you would expect. And then she dashes away, and all her little girlfriends start giggling at her side, and it's all very teeny boppery, and even though you know she's like 22, 23 years old. The soldiers escort you into the entrance chamber. You are met with the sound of kind of a low, droning cello. Just a long-winded, long-string instrument. And a booming drum. And you can hear the chanting of some set of monks somewhere up in the rafters, as you are led down the hall, down the throne room, past rows and rows of supplicants, and you are stopped at this kind of arch that leads into the inner sanctum of the throne room. The architecture is Gothic and covered in silver and platinum dragonography. This is a room of worship, of reverence, all leading to one place, where at least 200 to 300 spectators, gathered noblemen of the court, officers, and soldiers lining the outskirts of this room. You are all brought before the throne itself, which, unfortunately, is empty. What you see is this. Let me get there, folks. Hold on. An empty throne. But it's not long before you hear a commotion to your left. You expected to drop to one knee and be greeted by the Emperor Eric. However, you see a semi-familiar face, you know definitely recognizes this person, who enters from the wings and stands at the foot of the throne. You know, it is very, very agreeable to see you in these circumstances. You turn and see the Crown Prince Hector Falzef, wearing a thin, simple crown of silver upon his head, a cloak emblazoned with the platinum dragon, and a large, kind of a necklace-like vambrace covering his shoulders, and almost a mantle. He's tall, muscular, but also soft in his demeanor. He looks down at you in a way, in a position of authority, but does not offer judgment or scrutinization. And you hear him kind of announce, "The Crown Collectors, Knights of the Wilds, you stand before the throne of the Sovereign. It is very well that we greet you on this day. And you hear everyone kind of turn, and Prince Hector just kind of approaches each of you, gives you a subtle nod, a handshake. These are the adventurers themselves that freed the needle to the far east, wrested it from control from a cult, took it from the clutches of the undead themselves, the walking rot. They are to be commended and publicly recognized for these heroic deeds that they have done for Empire and the realm. Hear, hear! And everyone just kind of they give like a not a huge celebratory scream and cheer, but you definitely do catch a round of applause and people kind of, you know, commenting to themselves like, "Oh, the crown collectors of the Ellington Classic. Oh, the crown collectors that fought Shekas the Dragon." And you know, you can kind of hear people sort of bringing up stories that they know of you. And everything kind of dies down, and you see several of the court members now dealing with people who are walking up behind you. Sounds like they have maybe business for the throne. And Hector just kind of leans into you, Yuno and Kravish. You guys are kind of next to each other. Story, father couldn't be here, but he does want to see you. He's got business in his chamber. It keeps him busy. You know how he is. So, if it pleases you, why don't we head up there now? You can have your audience. We've business to discuss, you see.
We're gonna follow the prince.
Following the prince.
Mm-hmm.
He takes you around... kind of.
Wrong chat, Corey.
What'd you say?
Wrong chat, Corey.
Oops.
That's okay. So he takes you, you know, as you kind of make your way through the crowd, and there's people that are kind of reaching out to kind of touch your armor and get a better look at you and give you kind of a, you know, general thumbs up vibe. Until he brings you at the back hall, behind and around kind of a back corner, up a spiral staircase. Prince Hector kind of serenades you as you climb. You know, when somebody told us that we had been gifted the needle back, I had a feeling it was our friends from the Ellington Classic. And you guys, you know, you start really ascending stairs to the point where you're starting to huff and puff a little bit, and he's just continuing, no break in his gait, and he says, and when someone we heard had slew the dragon that had decimated the Ellington Classic in Dane, they told us it was the crown collectors. And he looks back at you again, and he's just got this wide smile on his face. And as he climbs the steps to a top level of this tower, a hallway lies before you. But when I heard that someone had freed the town of Cobb far to the east, a town that we have several dealings with, I was blown away to hear it was the same crown collectors. You've all made quite a name for yourself. I do hope it does the realm good to have you by our side. He's just inside, and so will I be. And he kind of opens the door. I should say that he approaches the door. The two guards, clad in blackguard armor, immediately grasp the two handles on the door and swing it open with a creak. Inside, you see another hallway lined with guards. You're marched in, one by one, single file through this hallway. You can see now images between each of the guards on tapestries I mean, the amount of wealth and intricacy to the arts on display in these tapestries. They're interwoven with platinum and gold thread. They depict battles with elves, with drow, with dragons, with zombies, with witches, with warlocks. And all of them look like the same emperor is depicted in each of them. You're not exactly hip on too much about the realm's doings, but it seems like a lot of battles for one man to be victorious. That doesn't matter, because as you reach the back room, you're brought to a large desk. You'd be forgiven in being reminded, those of you who are there, of being brought before the Grand Inquisitor behind his massive desk. Only this one is wreathed in the dim light of candles. There are a plethora of office staffers and royal viziers and attendants that are slowly flitting in and out of this room. It's difficult to see who's behind the desk, but as you see the elderly hand with kind of long cracked fingernails covered in rings, wearing a extraordinarily well-made red and black velvet cloak. A wide gray chin strap beard covers the bottom half of this man's sunken face. He looks to be in his 60s, but he also looks much older. The dark circles under the eyes, the tousled, longer, unkempt gray hair atop his head. With the Imperial crown, the Emperor raises his eyes and gazes at each of you. You stand there for an awkward moment as the Emperor goes back to his book. Someone leans in close to his ear. He leans his head slightly towards them and then shrugs off with a disgusted look to his face. You stand there for a moment. It gets a bit awkward, until finally Hector speaks up. Father, the Emperor barely acknowledges him. Father, these are the adventurers, the ones that liberated the Needle. They've come to pay their respects and gain royal favor that they've been promised. The Emperor shifts his weight slightly in his chair and just mutters, "Adventurers," while the gentlemen standing behind and around him chortle and chuckle to themselves. Why should they deserve an audience with us? Hector laments. Father, they've done a great deed for the Empire. They've brought the Needle back into the fold. And the Emperor just kind of cuts him off. It's what you should have done ages ago, Hector. The Eastern Front was left wide open for nearly half a year. And that's when you hear a familiar voice that makes everyone's skin crawl. Indeed, dear brother. We spoke about it at length. It should have been taken back ages ago. From behind a shadow, the face of Prince Victor comes under the dim, overhanging candlelight. Well, well, well. If it isn't the crown collectors of the Ellington Classic. Quite a debacle that turned out to be, did it not, my friends? And he just stares daggers right at Yuno. I heard you ran into a spot of bother out in the western town of Cobb, did you not? Few months in the gallows, how did that serve you? And you hear a few of the men standing around Prince Victor kind of chuckle with him, maybe some cronies of his, but everyone else seems to be staring at daggers at you. The Emperor just kind of looks over his papers seemingly not paying too much attention to any of this. Yes, and what is it I was to repay them with? What royal favor do adventurers demand of their sovereign? And Prince Hector looks at Kravish and at Yuno, kind of expectedly. He wants you to ask for something.
I'll make my customary bow towards him and then stand back up and just, Your Royal Excellency, we do not demand anything of the sovereign. We do humbly request, though, a small favor to help us recover one of our own who was lost repelling the demon that had infested the town of Cobb.
He doesn't stop writing in his ledger, and he just takes a moment as somebody leans in close to his ear from the other side of his shoulders, just whispering something, and he doesn't really look up too much. What use would the Empire have for locating your friend? Seems like a trifle of a waste of resources if all you need is a bounty hunter. And Prince Hector just kind of clears his throat. If I'm not mistaken in speaking with Sir Thorsten on your behalf, their friend followed this entity into the Hells, Sovereign. And you see the Emperor just kind of stop for a moment and looks like he's gonna look up at you, but he just kind of stares forward. The Hells, you say? What manner of transportation could we offer here? I have no stomach for the Hells. And you hear everyone kind of giggle at his little joke.
Sire, we are aware that there is a certain magical device in your possession that would aid us in our transport to the Hell Dimension that she is located. We ask nothing more of the Sovereign other than the opportunity to use this device to retrieve our friend who made the ultimate personal sacrifice to protect so many other lives.
You see him wave your flowery speech away. What device do you speak of?
No, I'll look to Yuno for him to explain the device.
It's the rod of planar shift that we found previously that Prince Victor submitted. We believe that it'll allow us to travel to the realm to recover our friend and also seal any potential rifts that would impact the Empire.
And he, as soon as you say the rod of planar shift, the Emperor's gaze snaps to you, you know. He just kind of gives you a brief snort, like, you found. And he darts his attention, and everyone looks at Prince Victor. And the Emperor just kind of groans at him. You told me you found the rod of planar shift, Victor? And Victor just kind of looks from the Emperor and looks at Yuno with this fiery stare and say, I might have exaggerated its origins a tad. And the Emperor just kind of, he snaps a little and he's just like, your inheritance of the tax of incoming whiskey and wine was contingent on your achievement of retrieving the rod of planar shift. All this built on a lie? Is this how you respect your sovereign? And he kind of throws his quill at Prince Victor, who kind of recoils. And just for a split second, Victor looks like a 6-year-old child, kind of recoiling from a father's anger. And very quickly he straightens himself back up and looks like he's kind of dusting himself off. He kind of wipes the ink from the quill off of his arm. And he just kind of storms off in a huff, and as he leaves, he kind of leaves by crossing right in front of of Yuno, and you hear him mutter under his breath, "Go, take your rod. I hope you die wherever you're going." And he storms off out of the room. At this moment, everyone in the room is kind of staring at you all, and one of his advisors steps closer to you and just says, "Is this how you wish to cash in your royal favor? Using an Imperial magical artifact?"
I think we would all answer in unison, yes.
"So be it. With Sovereign's permission and advidence, I will direct you to its location." And you just see everyone kind of turn towards the Emperor, and he retrieves another quill from kind of like a pen holder next to his desk, and with just the most dismissive wave of his free hand, he just says, "Be on with it, then." And the long-haired, bearded wizard who addressed you all kind of guides you away from the room as he chats with you. "The rod of planar shift is with the court wizard at his tower, the edge of town. Xander Feng is currently using it to study extraplanar anomalies." And you hear, as you kind of leave, you hear somebody else talk about something about another Fane has fallen, and everyone seems very embroiled in that conversation. Okay. So, Xander Feng's tower is not across town, but it is not within the bounds of the castle. You'd have to travel there. Do you wish to do that?
I suppose so.
Are we of the mindset that we're like going now to do this? I mean, is this something we can check out for a few days because we still got some equipment pending and such?
I mean, you can go meet him. You don't have to use it. Maybe it would behoove you to at least kind of talk things over. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, that's okay. I'm just making sure we're not going with with their expectation that we're going to use it now, and so that they can get us the fuck out of here.
I mean, if you ask for it, they very well might say, "All right, here it is, bing, go." Or you can negotiate a time to get ready to. I mean, it's up to you. That would be all up to you.
Okay. Well, I would ask the mage then that how would he advise? I mean, we're not ready to leave right now this moment. Can we at least discuss the item with him and come up with a mutually agreed upon time?
Oh, well, the court wizard is much more agreeable than some would assume. If he likes what you have to say, perhaps he makes the process seamless. However, if you were to inconvenience him in some way, either with your actions or what you have to say, perhaps he toys with you before giving you what you are owed. It's entirely in your court. In any case, Xander Feng, his tower, this extends my limit of interaction. And you see him just kind of turn his tall, kind of balding, long brown hair head away and just sort of waft back into the room with the Emperor. You now find yourselves in a kind of an outer narthex of the chamber itself, surrounded by guards, left to your own devices.
Okay. So I will pose the question to the group then. Do we go to Xander Fang now? Do we wait until we're properly outfitted to go? You know, what would you think?
I have a dinner date with the princess, so I vote we do.
No, we're not breaking that, dude.
We should. I agree. We should at least go check in with the wizard and see. You know, let him know that hey, we're gonna be doing this.
Okay.
Okay.
That's just my thought. I mean,
No, I think it's just as good as any. I just wanted to see what way the group was feeling. I was thinking it'd probably at least be nice to to meet him.
well, yeah.
All right then. Well, we will make our way over to Zangderfang then.
Something
Court
tells me-
Wizard's Tower is about a 15-minute jaunt through the winding streets of the capital. It's not hard to find. The base floor of this tower, which is considerably tall, it's at least 10 stories, if not more. It's a very typical, slightly tapered, octagonal-sided, kind of a stop sign cylinder-shaped tower with a kind of a dark stone, very simple motif. It's topped with like a rooked cap, almost like a bastion castle top. It doesn't taper or have a roof. And there are several floors of windows, and it seems like every floor is somewhere in the neighborhood of like 50 to 60 feet across. So it's massive, huge tower. You check in, show your gold seals to the guards, who take your request to visit with the court wizard on permission from the sovereign himself. And you're brought into the first floor, which looks like it's being occupied by maybe half a dozen goblins and halflings and gnomes. Very small folk here. They all look like they're tending desks and attending to work of some kind. Some of them are casting spells from books. Some of them are shrinking or enlarging small creatures. Some of them to devastating effect as they balloon and explode. And it's told that you are meant to go to the top floor library, where you will find the court wizard Xander Fang in his study. You're told to be concise, as he is very busy. You're led to the main stairwell, where you can kind of skip all the other floors and go straight up there. I do need a quick con save from everybody, because walking up all these stairs is strenuous. Con save, please. Oh no. Oh no. Oh yes. Natural 20 from Baranor, of course.
I don't know why you say of
You
course. I only have a +1 in con save.
That's what I'm saying. Of course, you got the plus. You got the natural 20. Let's see. We need one from Noah. On save. We need one from Reaper as well. Not
Sorry.
great. Okay. Well, that's okay.
We're all sucking wind.
Yeah. Baranor is walking on the walls. It's just a breeze. And you enter the top floor in a huff. All of you are winded. That took entirely too long to get up those stairs. Oh my gods. And you open the top floor doorway with a creak. It's dark in here. There's just a little bit of candlelight. And as you enter, you notice it's too dark for someone to be in here. You stop for a moment. You listen. You hear like the rustling of paper. And you walk further in, and you notice that you are indeed in a dimly lit library. There are books on shelves scattered across the walls. There are unlit candelabras all over the place. And there are dozens and dozens of books and scrolls and parchment scattered on the ground all over the floor here. You wait. Do you say anything?
Well, at this point, I'm still huffing and puffing, so
Yeah.
I'm going to take a moment or two just to kind of collect my breath so that I don't sound like I'm actively trying to die.
As you all stand in the middle of this great round chamber with signs of a struggle, hearing no greeting, no little old man, toddling around the place. All of you can only hear your own breath. And no amount of calling out for a Xander Fang is met with anyone's voice. And you hear, from where you came in, you hear a large, squishy thud. You turn around, and those of you with dark vision see an immense creature stand before you. 3 huge stumpy legs, 2 spike ball pad ending tentacles waving above its enormous head, a 3rd tentacle ending with 3 sickly yellow blank eyes, and a huge maw lined with jagged, slimy, razor-sharp teeth. You see this. And that's where we're going to end the session for today.
Oh, it's a much bigger one than I thought it was going to be.
Well, shit.
Ew.
I was like, I think I know what this is. Oh, wait, that's way bigger.
Yeah, that's really gross.
Yeah, and it smells like poop.
Smells like duty.
Yeah, see ya, Ken. Ken's got to leave. We're out of here anyway. But yeah, we'll pick back up there as you guys fight your first Altayug. And we'll see where your day takes you. You're definitely here to talk to somebody. Probably not an Altayug. So, but that was fun, guys. Nice shopping episode and getting everybody outfitted with gear and stuff. I like where this is headed, and I'm sure that Steph likes where this is headed as well. I'm contemplating on having a not next session, but maybe the session after, having a little one-shot. Since we skipped our yearly Christmas one-shot this year, I'm thinking about doing one in 2 sessions. So I want everybody to spin up and I'll message this to Steph. Well, it doesn't matter with her. But I'll message this to Ken, that I would like everyone to spin up a level 14 character and understand that you're going to be playing the part of a devil.
So like
all right. No. You're gonna look up stats for any kind of devil you wish. It could be a barbed devil. It could be a just nothing too crazy high level, like certainly no Asmodeus or anything like that. But we could be a little loosey-goosey with the rules. If you guys have questions about your race, just let me know. But just look up the stats of a particular type of devil. Also, talk to each other. See if we can get a diverse cast of different kinds of creatures. And your sole intention is going to be to kill Maeven. That's it. That's all you're going to try to do.
Jesus.
Well, then let us hope to fail.
Yeah.
Did everyone see the comment that Steph made that Reaper has never referred to herself as Reaper with us?
Right.
She's never been Reaper even to you. Okay.
No. Only with people outside the group. She was introduced as Reaper to the group by Iatharis, so that's what you guys know that.
Okay, so she's introducing to other people as Grace Starling.
As Grace Starling. Love it. Love it. I want you to describe what she looks like and send it to me over text, and I'm going to create an image of her.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Oh, and
also, since you guys aren't going, maybe we've got some time to party. Also remember that your old friend Daunt ran into you on the streets of the capital last session and has invited you all for drinks with him at the tavern that I said last session, which I think it was like the glittering pony or something like that. I'll go through I'll go through the audio and check it out. But that was a lot of fun, guys. For next session and battling this Otyugh, we are looking at the 23rd of August. And the following session after that, which I'm thinking about doing this one shot, would be September 6th. September 6th. So spin up your cool characters, shoot them over to me when you get a chance, and I'll go through and see if there's anything that's going to break the session, because devils are weird. We like weird, but we also want it to be a little balanced. So, and if you want to homebrew something, we can go over that too. So let your imaginations run wild. But come up with it, let me know, and I will see you guys on the next session, okay?
All right.
yeah, sure. Joe, can I just check something with you?
Sure.
Yeah. So just because we're going into combat, and I understand you probably wouldn't want Levin around, can we say that he was watching from the crowd, had planned to sort of see Iona meet with the Emperor in the throne room, but then that didn't happen, so he just couldn't follow us to the Wizard Tower, so then he's not present for... Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
I mean, he was probably just watching the throne, and then Iona went off, and he was like, you know what, I can't do anything here, but if anything happens to my sister, I'm going to be on the fucking news. And, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we can do that. No problem. And maybe we'll get into what he was up to while they're on their walk. So, but we'll get to that next session. And thanks everybody for showing up, and we will see you guys on the next one.
All righty.
All right, cool.
All righty.
Great.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.